Was proudly brought to you by Ross's Discount Home Centre, Front Row Screens, your local streaming superhero, and CD Dodd, Scrap Metal Recyclers.
And to level off round season, and it is a weights. Subiaco on the rest 10 13. Perth, who are aiming currently 9 wins. It looks beautiful. Sport Facebook. Great play. To be, yeah.
To the round, no doubt, Paul, and very excited that we are lucky enough to box this side. Interesting.
Will happens there on your for the official, but back inside on front. And stay with us for the next 2 for Subiaco and West Perth. Subiaco, they're going in from their week south.
Especially with the goal kick, you know, tell the challenge have to see for can they in 2 and number 3 can they do against the best defensive team?
And you can completely characteristic in West. When we bounce from Leaderville Oval, Subiaco, West Perth in the WAFL.
Installing no advertising on your front lawn, no sale gimmicks. Shutting.com.
To Oval for our round 17 match of the day. Very overcast afternoon, but in the spirits of Subiaco and with the front row, your number 121 in the ruck, and Tyler 4 goals for Tell and 3 will see them hover to 50 the season. Luke, as the players get into the teams for the last 7 weeks, 47 goals for the 47 goals for rather.
Against Peel Thunder, and not the kids in one game. The amount that he's getting completely. So for Subiaco, the big
back line can hold up. You know, they've got the likes of Anglo, those inside defensive 50 and stop the repeated entries from Perth. Team they've first concede less points than Subiaco. So very strong, polished four-quarter
efficiency from I'll be backing them for a today. West Perth are really going to struggle against this. Going to see a bit compared to other.
It's going to be made sort of like an all-ground. It is in Porte and doing battle soccer and pass release tackle by Excel. West Perth wanting hold a blast in and Ross's discount home set gets Subiaco kicked. Broke, get tackled. Here comes boundary line. The hand to enters forward 50. It's on at the hand. West Perth looking to recover through Hobley. Is over the line for a boundary throw in. Subiaco gaining some.
A lot of pressure there, and Subiaco to it quite well in the score, but the score is going to be crucial at this point.
3 metres from the Lions' goal. Umpire calls play on in front. He's converging around the foot. Out to Matera. Snap from third. Hamilton and Broad over the top. Well spoiled. Hamilton could have gone over. It through for a behind, and that is the first score of the afternoon. Ross's discount home scoreboard. Subiaco striking early on the scoreboard with a minute and a half to this game as West Perth will run it. And it's going to go on. Goes short and finds Lynch, who's down the ground. Lynch kicks to the outer side. 2 on 2. Big pack of players flying. One of them was, and it's over the line for throw-in. One behind, playing no score. Subiaco leading the first 2 minutes of the opening quarter here at Leader Below.
West Perth getting out of a bit of trouble there. Let's see what they can do here. They're going to need repeated entries into the 50. Star power down there to be able to utilise them to the best ability, and it's going to be a big ask. Ball getting fumbled in the pack. A little bit umpire's going to have. On top of it was.
West Perth are going man-to-man, and I think that's a good approach for West to take on those repeated entries. Subiaco may get inside that forward 50. Subiaco following that same method.
Ball goes to ground up the rock and wrestling for it again. The umpire's going to have it straight back. Yeah, we do have a good view of that ball. We've seen Subiaco sit in behind the line a little bit before, and Perth will not allow them to do that today. The ball goes to ground. West Perth trying to clear it out of there. The play was broken up by a Subiaco mark. They're going to kick it forward. Down the left side. Running onto it now, West Perth. It was Boys who had it, and he gets wrapped up in a big tackle. The umpire's going to have it. One more time.
These conditions are making it a lot tougher for both these teams in the early going.
Subiaco get one out of the pack to the top of the 50. Tumbling around with it was Robbins. And West Perth managed to recover it. Here's Black. Get the hand away. Subiaco looked to be hemming them in a little bit. The defensive pressure's been significant as the kick goes down the line into a contest. It just trickled over the back, running towards it was Dewar. And getting it out of trouble was Chin. And Subiaco happy to see the boundary. The work in the contest from both teams has been strong so far, not giving each other an inch.
Goals hard to come by in the early going, however, with only one behind scored for the Lions. West Perth yet to get a good entry inside the 450 apart from the first bounce, as a free kick is going the way of West Perth for an indiscretion at the stoppage. It's going to be taken by Black, goes for the short pass and finds Boys. Boys in only his 12th league game, originally from the Joondalup Kinross club. Boys goes down the line. Couple of tools flying. Spoilt from behind. Goes out the back and Subiaco will recover it. The kick overrunning it there was Boys. The hand pass comes out. Kitchen towards the forward 50 on the lead of Matera and takes a good mark. 52 metres out. With the left foot to the lead of Hickmott and running back with it takes a good mark. And Hickmott will have a shot for the first goal of the afternoon. Just that ball movement that Subiaco were able to manufacture out of defensive side of centre proved to be really good.
It was beautiful ball movement from Subiaco, like you mentioned, Paul, and the lead from Matera. He had a jump on him by about 1.5 metres, and that was really solid. He saw the play coming and then was able to follow up with the second effort to set up Hickmott.
Hickmott from 25 metres out, and he's absolutely shanked it, and that's another minus score for the Lions. Two behinds, playing no score. Subiaco with an early lead.
That's one that Hickmott would want back, but I'd say that the play from the Lions there is promising.
So resetting is Moulton, is going to bring it back into play. He kicks towards right half back. O'Donnell flies, couldn't hang on to that one, and it's over the line for a throw-in on the half-forward line for Subiaco. Grey clouds all around, but the sun is shining on this Saturday afternoon. I'm glad you can join us for round 17, the match of the round, Subiaco and West Perth, as the ball is tossed up. Delaporte working it to the front. Up and under kick. Players will fly. One of them is Delaporte. From behind, spoiling Marsh. At ground level, Matera, beautiful hand pass to Putt. Marsh, his kick smothered. Robbins snaps around the corner, goes looking for the man up forward. And a great mark taken. It was taken by Matera. And he's had a good start to this first quarter. Got plenty of the football and has been busy with it. And Matera will have the opportunity to give the Lions first major.
And what an option they have in that forward line this afternoon in Matera, showing great form early. And if they can at minimum move the ball like they have been, even half as well, he looks like he's going to be there for them.
Matera from 30 metres out with the left foot, and it sways to the left this time. Three behinds for Subiaco. We're at the 7-minute mark of the opening quarter. It's all thanks to Ross's Discount Home Centre. Paul Persick and Luke Worthington with you on this Saturday afternoon at Leederville Oval.
So West Perth have struggled to move it out of the back so far as the ball goes into the contest. Going down for it was Shannon, and it's going to trickle over the line. Big moment here for West Perth. Subiaco have lacked the scoreboard pressure, but the ball movement and the defensive effort has been there. Putt and Delaporte going up for it. Delaporte got it. It went to ground. Trying to move it out of the pack was Clark. Closing in on Shannon. Ball moves out. Putt got it out of there nearly. Tried to dive on it too. Marsh moved it. Collecting its Moulton. Black in a little bit of trouble here to move the footy, West Perth. And it looks like the umpire's going to take this one in as the ball fumbles around in the pack.
The hospital hand pass was a bit uncharacteristic there from Blackie. A hand pass to a teammate that was directly under pressure. And West Perth, they wouldn't want to do a lot of that against this Subiaco forward pressure.
They go up for it, the rucks. It went straight down to Marsh. And trickles out the side. Marsh collecting it, kicking it inside 50. Ball trickles over the top of the pack. It's going to roll through for a behind. Just missed hitting the left-hand point post. We had a good view of it here. Now West Perth are going to try their luck up the far wing. Kick goes through. Under a bit of pressure, they're able to bring the mark in. stopping and trying to slow things down now. And that kick has gone out of the full, and already we're seeing the wind play a big factor in this game. 3 kicks that you'd almost call gimmies at this point going astray, and we can see the windsock moving from what would be the direction of the bottom of your screen to the top as the mark gets taken in by Subiaco. And it looks like he wants to go for it here.
Yeah, Broad's backing himself. He's got the confidence. He's a big kick, but there's a few players on leads inside forward 50, but I reckon Broad, he's going to ignore those and go for it.
So here's Broad. Had a good game last week, and he's going to try his luck from a tough angle, and it sails through for a behind.
Another one. 4 behinds in a row for Subiaco, and West Perth have yet to hit the scoreboard. 9.5 minutes into this game. Crucial one for both teams. Subiaco on top of the ladder, West Perth in third as Moulton brings it back into play. 2-on-1, West Perth have the swiftly moves it forward, and that's a beautiful kick to the path of Keitel. Just needs the sit. Across the body goes Keitel, and it goes over the line. Another kick out of bounds on the full, and that's one that you don't want to get, especially when you've moved the ball so freely and you have that opportunity inside forward 50, but it was frittered away. So Subiaco are going to be on the move quickly. Mark taken by Martin is going to send it out. Dewar back to the corridor. Hickmott goes inboard, and that's a good kick too. Subiaco have got the chip and play on thing going. Marsh held back by Moulton. Goes across the ground to Matera. Matera with a beautiful pass to the advantage of Hickmott. He can go for the short one and find Matera. And on the chest, Matera with a good mark. And Matera will look to break the goal hoodoo that Subiaco have got in this opening quarter. Just the way, again, they were able to move the football freely.
Yep.
Chip and go, chip and go. It's worked wonders for them so far.
And Matera is going to be going with the snap here.
We'll just hope it works for him. Matera from 35. And he's put it through. Matera has the first one of the afternoon. Subiaco strike after 11 minutes in this round 17 clash on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. Subiaco 1-4-10. West Perth yet to score.
Subiaco slowly figuring out the win situation. He just managed to creep that one in, Matera, but the 5 scoring shots to barely an inside 50 on West Perth's end. Worrying signs, you would say, early for the Cardies, but hopefully they can get back in this.
Well, they are a good starting team. As mentioned in the intro, they won 10 opening quarters in their 13 games. Subiaco, a stronger finishing side. Subiaco will look to put the pressure on early on West Perth, and they've done so from the outset with the first 5 scoring shots. O'Donnell in the ruck, loses out to Matthews, and there's a push off the ball, and it'll be the Lions' free kick. Going to go the way of Matthews alongside the centre circle. Gets the hand pass out, releases Marsh. Kick towards right half forward, goes over everybody. First to it is Shannon, who's back in the side. Shannon's hand pass only as far as Broad at the back. He can go for the snap from 30 metres out towards goal, and he's missed. To the left-hand side, 1-5-11, playing no score, round 17 of the Optus WAFL Premiership season. Subiaco with the early advantage.
And Bro was opportunistic there. He did a really good job, but that tackle from Harris was what set up that absolutely golden opportunity for Subiaco, and he's been in some form recently.
Free kick.
As a free kick for a push in the back is going to go the way of West Perth in the hands of Matthew Lloyd. Robbins, the offender, lining up on the mark. A lot of players standing down the line. Kicks it inside a little bit. Subiaco collecting it now after the play was broken up. Ball goes to ground. West Perth trying to move it out of trouble. Here's Black. And his kick has gone out of bounds on the full. And both teams really are struggling in these conditions.
It's proven to be tricky for both teams, especially with the way they're able to move the ball with the breeze that's blowing across the ground.
Kick inboard Safe hands, Matera. Kick goes into the contest and falls over the back. And accidentally on purpose puts it over the line. Mark Hamilton.
Well, Hamilton is a big key player for West Perth's defensive 50. He was magnificent last week in the win over Pure Thunder. You can take those intercept marks entry after entry, and he's got that flair inside 50.
Big men going up for it. Ball falls over the back. A lot of Subiaco numbers and a big collision there. Looks like the umpire will have it again. Strong play on the ball there. Max Walters in a big collision. Looks fine after that one, thankfully. West Perth snap around the body from Moulton. Ball moves into the corridor and hits the deck. Riddick collects it. He looks like he has a bit of space. Stops up and the handball just went errant, wrapped up in a tackle, and now they're under a bit of pressure, West Perth. Subiaco moving numbers towards the footy. Trying to bring it in was Hobley, and now Subiaco have turned it over beautifully. Martin kicked it inside 50. Fell over the back of the one-on-one contest. Black collects it. Handball over the top trying to find Lloyd. They're moving it out nicely now. The best they have all game. Here's Hobley, a chip down the line. Into the hands of Riddick. Riddick the kick inboard. Safely taken in by Antonio, who kicks it further across. Moving it nicely now with some intent. West Perth. Shannon stabbed it forward. Just missed. Now Subiaco have turned it straight back over, and they're in some open space. The handball went out into the middle and was taken in by Kitchen. Kitchen has to backtrack a little bit. Kick goes out to the side. Putt alone in space brings it in.
Putt on the defensive half, gets the hand pass out. Subiaco are away again. The kick is a risky one. Lloyd on the half volley, and West Perth have got numbers around the football. Antonio gets the pass towards Shane Nelson. Game 179. He's forced to drop short and find Matthew Lloyd in front of our commentary position. We'll have to switch it around the bullseyes now. He finds Pecoraro, who too, like Hamilton, was magnificent inside defensive 50. 1 goal 6 playing no score here at Leederville Oval. Match of the round. Subiaco leading by 12. Moulton's kick to the path of Heel. He couldn't take the mark, but recovers and gets the hand pass out. Subiaco on the counter-attack. The kick towards half forward. West Perth have greater numbers around the football. One of them is Guadanin. And now he's going to switch up the play and find Hamilton. Hamilton goes to the outer side. And they're on the move. Nelson kicks down the line to the path of Shannon, but he overruns it, and it's over the line for a boundary throw-in.
West Perth with a little bit more momentum there, and really if they can get the 1 goal, that would be a great finish.
But they're not using it effectively inside that defensive 50, and it's down to the forward pressure that Subiaco have got on them at the moment. Putt wins it out in front. West Perth with numbers. De La Porte overrunning it, and there's a couple of players down out at ground level. One of them was Moulton, and one Subiaco player flat on his back after a heavy collision. And it looks like it's Kitchen. Yes, it is. The Kitchen went down, and there's going to be the blood rule. That will be enforced. Pearce coming off for the Falcons, and looks like Kitchen may come off as well. No, doesn't look like it. It's Matera for Subiaco. Pearce coming off and interchanging with Aaron Black. As a result of the blood rule, Harris comes back on. And here, see, it was a pretty hard hit to the head.
Ooh, yeah.
As you can see there on your screen, Mitchell Pearce with the towel over his head, and he'll be taken back to the bench. And we're back underway. De La Porte and Putt. Putt gets the tap out. Clark, ground level, gets the hand pass out. West Perth desperately trying to get it forward, but hit by this Lions wall that they've set up. And it's going to be over the line again for another ball up on the outer side. Putt working it to the front. Kitchen gets the hand pass out. Harris looking for Matera in a one-on-one. Caught from behind, but there's a free kick. And it's going to go West Perth's way. They're going to call for the advantage, and they get it. Inside defensive 50, West Perth have got the football. And it is Nelson. Nelson towards Salicic. He couldn't take the mark. Walters, great play Walters drops it short. Matera was the only one roaming free and takes the mark.
Matera remaining immense in the Subiaco forward line so far. And we can just get up the disposal numbers in a moment.
Now, so far, Matera, across the games that he's had this season, he's averaged quite well this season, 18.4 touches. And this for his second goal from 45. Sways to the left-hand side for a behind. And it's another behind, 1-7-13, West Perth no score. And so they'll want to impact the scoreboard a little more, Subiaco. And they are doing it, but they're just not getting the majors.
We continue. Harris underneath it. Big punch, but Clark comes up with the ball. Running onto its lock here. Managed to find Harris. He was under a bit of pressure and found the safe hands of Robbins. Robbins an inboard kick. And it's stabbed forward, and a beautiful play there as the ball is taken in by Nick Martin.
Where was the West Perth man-on-man in that defensive 50? They could not get Martin in front and get the spoil. Martin was just roaming free, the lone man inside that forward 50, and it was a good lead too to set up from that kick by Hickmott.
Yes, and the West Perth defence has been a little bit stagnant so far. But here's Martin, and this would be a big goal for Subiaco. Put them 3 in front, but it looks like it's just going to sail right across the face of goal. Went with the direction of the wind, and it has been as much of a factor as ever this afternoon.
They should be about 6 goals in front, Subiaco, with the way they've been able to put the forward pressure on West Perth and keep on attacking at the football. But as it turns out, 1 goal late, you may be in front, but it's not that pleasant of a figure.
Munn stabbed it through to Gordon. Gordon a kick outside. West Perth holding it in and slowing it down. Chip went through and he couldn't control it. Good Black, and now Subiaco nearly getting the turnover, but West Perth pumping it down the line, and a beautiful mark is taken in by Putt, who kicks it through. Mark taken at the top of the 50. Martin again, and there he is one more time. Matera. And can he get his second of the afternoon?
It's these easy kicks inside forward 50 that are hurting West Perth. They're going for the chip and go, Subiaco, and it's working. They're able to find loose avenues towards goal. Matera's been one of them, so has been Broke.
Matera, that was his 5th mark, and this will be his 8th disposal of the afternoon. Kicked 1 goal too. What can he do here? It looks good, very good, and Subiaco lead 26-0, 3-8-26. They lead West Perth. Sorry, 2-8-20. They lead West Perth.
Taken out of the CD Dodd replay. And that wonderful goal by Matera. Swung it round with the left foot a little bit, but as well, I mentioned before the goal, Luke, it's the way that Subiaco are entering their forward 50. That chip and go, they're moving the ball a lot freely and catching West Perth's defensive structure off guard.
Yep, absolutely. And it's just the stagnancy in the West Perth defence that has been troubling them so far. They have had that man-on-man pressure all over the ground and would benefit from it in the defensive 50. And another big issue is the inside 50 count. Sits at 2 for West Perth and 13 for Subiaco.
Delaporte gets the tap out, but Putt roves it brilliantly, gets the hand pass out to Clark towards the forward half. Plays roaming free. Moulton, good use of the body to get his opponent out of the contest. Hand pass intercepted. Marsh and Matthews combining. The hand pass comes out to Harris, who drops it short, and there he is again, Matera.
Beautiful play there from Harris, and the Subiaco midfield coming together with a big celebration there to congratulate each other on their effort. And Matera from the exact same spot he kicked his first goal is going to go around the body again, Paul.
This will be the second time that he's done it from 35, and this time it goes through for 4 points. Matera has number 3. He's catching fire this afternoon. And Subiaco go to 3-8-26. West Perth yet to hit the scoreboard. We've gone 23.5 minutes on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. And as we go to the CD Dodd replay, this time he was able to put a little less swing on it around the corner. Brandon Matera, and it's only his 13th league game, and he's taken, is it 6 marks inside forward 50, and he's now got 3 goals.
Leading the disposal count for Subiaco as well. Matera as a forward, and yeah, 6 of 8 of those disposals have been marks that he's taken inside 50, and he's doing incredibly well for this Subiaco side. And what West Perth need is to get the ball down there to their big forwards.
It's that supply that West Perth are lacking at the moment, and the clearances are leading into those. As another clearance is being won by the Lions, the mark is taken by Martin. Martin has got a few players roaming free. One of them is Matera again. Just slipped over at the last moment. West Perth through Munns. Clear it out of the defensive 50. The hand pass from Nelson comes to Lloyd, who kicks it high towards right centre wing and finds Black. 212 games. Aaron Black goes down the line. Subiaco have numbers. Leaping high was the player out the back of the pack. He couldn't take the mark. The ball comes out. Martin again. He's been good. So is Marsh and Clark. Clark kicks towards the attacking half. Showing courage to go hard at that one was Pegararo. That's good play from Pegararo. Lynch kicks to an open man in Rudy Riddick. He was free in the West Perth forward half. Riddick hasn't got a lot of options, so he's going to have to go long. No, he goes over the top to Murray. Murray in the direction of Knott. Spoil from behind came in. O'Donnell tried to hack it off the ground, but in the end, all he got was a fresh airy, and we'll have ourselves a Banbury throw-in.
Good work there from Heel to get it out of bounds. Subiaco backline hasn't had to do almost anything inside 50 so far, so let's see how they hold up here. There's some big threats in the West Perth forward line, and Subiaco are going to be tested now. Ball goes to ground. Diving on top of it was Boyce. Ball moves out from Putt. Walters finds it, and Subiaco looking like they're out of trouble almost immediately. Moulton running onto it, out-muscled by Broat. Moulton and Broat still battling, and Broat got held. And just off the ball, there's a wrestling match going on, but the ball gets kicked back or forward into the Subiaco 50, and the mark is taken in.
It was Nicholas Martin again who took the mark, but there's a scuffle on right centre wing. Players getting involved left, right and centre. Lynch and Harris. The umpire's telling them to just calm their farms a little bit. But Martin again kept on his focus on that hard lead inside half forward. Was able to take a good mark uncontested, and this to add more scoreboard pressure for Subiaco.
The one behind this afternoon for Martin, and this would be big for Subiaco as he lines it up and straight through the middle. A hard kick that was for Martin, with the wind going directly across him. 4-8-32, Subiaco, they lead West Perth, who are sitting at zip.
CD Dodd replay, another good kick by Nicholas Martin. And as he said, only one behind beforehand, and he's continuing his good work up forward. He knew that was going in the moment it left the boot. He just had to check to the right-hand side because there's still a breeze blowing here at Leederville Oval. And Subiaco been able to put good use to it. 12 scoring shots in the first quarter to nothing. And on the stroke of quarter time in this round 17 game, Subiaco have done all of the attack. West Perth have barely given a blimp. As players reset in the centre, 4-8 playing no score. In our round 17 clash on Front Row Screen Sport, your number one in 2021. The kick smothered. Goes out to Walters. He kicks towards half forward. Spoil from behind. From Moulton to Guadinin. Guadinin gets the hand pass under pressure. Hospital hand pass. Robbins releasing Sokol. Out the back goes Walters. Breaks through 2 tackles. Goes back to Robbins. At ground level. Slips in the mud. Gathered by Walters at ground level, but turns it over. And now West Perth, through Lloyd, can clear out of the defensive 50. And the kick is effective and finds Christopher Shannon. Shannon on the outer side of the ground. Hasn't got a lot of options, so he has to go short down the line and find Black. Aaron Black, skipper of this side. Inboard, finds number 25 in Pearce. Pearce is going to go back inboard. And the mark taken. And that's a good kick too by Pearce, and Harris getting involved. The mark taken by Lynch. Involved in that scuffle along with Harris. just a minute and a half ago. Lynch stabs at it. Good spoil in the end there by Hill as the siren goes to end what has been a dominant first quarter by the top of the table Lions. 12 scoring shots to nil in the first quarter, and they lead at 4-8 to no score. West Perth will need a lot of work to do if they want to get back into this game, because Subiaco have got complete control. With 3 goals to Matera and 1 to Martin in the opening term, it was one-way traffic in the first half hour of footy. We'll take a break from Leederville Oval, but when we do come back, the second quarter action, where it is Subiaco leading by 32 points over West Perth in the heavyweight clash between first and third from Leederville Oval.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Leederville Oval, round 17 match of the day on Front Row Screen Sport. All thanks to Front Row Screens, Shutterguard, and of course Ross's Discount Home Centre and CD Dodd Scrap Metal Recyclers. And Subiaco in complete control, 4-8-32 to no score against West Perth. And they've played to the conditions a lot better than West Perth in the opening half hour. Matera has 3 goals and Nicholas Martin has the other. Jeff Valentine saying to his side there is a lot of work to do if you want to get back into this game against the Lions. And also Beau Wardman speaking to his side as well. And the midfield and defence separated in their groups, chatting to their respective specialist coaches. Paul Persick with you alongside Luke Worthington on this Saturday afternoon, where the sun has come out in contrast to the weather that we have had all week. But Luke, that first quarter belonged to Subiaco with the way they were able to move the ball and put the pressure on West Perth when trying to clear out of that defensive 50. All Subiaco in that opening half hour.
Absolutely. We're going to see it on the CD Dodd replay here. There he is. Matera has been immense for them in that first term. Had 9 disposals, 6 of them from marks inside 50. There was Chad Harris on the screen, kicking it through to Matera again. One of those immense numbers of the marks that he's had in the 50, and the snap around the body. Can't tell whether that was his first or second goal because they looked exactly the same. Now we see West Perth.
They tried everything they could, West Perth, to get the ball moving towards their forward 50, but they just haven't been able to execute. They've been kicking to contest more often than not, and that's led to those easy defensive turnovers for Subiaco, where players like Martin, Brote, Matera in particular, and even Gregory Clark, who got plenty of the ball in the midfield early on, to impact the scoreboard, and that's where West Perth are really hurting. Their movement out of defensive 50 is not going too well.
And look, the one time that they did have the ball in the attacking 50, West Perth, Subiaco were able to clean it up and move it back out of there.
We talked about it.
No trouble whatsoever.
We talked about it being a game of backlines before the bounce down, but it's really been a game of the midfield. That's where Subiaco have taken complete control. They've won more clearances. They've controlled the inside 50 count, but also what Subiaco were able to do is get first to it. They're playing the fundamentals correctly. West Perth, in contrast, haven't been able to do that. They've been second to the ball.
Yep, absolutely. And second to the ball is a really good way to put it. And I think that's what they're going to be being told by Coach Jeff Valentine in the huddle down there as we take a look over at the top of it. And that's exactly what he's going to be saying to them. It's that effort that's required. And, you know, even in these conditions, Subiaco have managed to make the most of it when they've needed to. And they also need to be figuring out how to neutralise Matera going forward.
And while that is going on, we'll take you around the grounds for some of the other games going on. We've got 3 today. West Coast leading Perth 5-1 to 1 goal over there at Mineral Resources Park. South Fremantle, a big start for them over Peel Thunder at David Gray's Arena, 37 to 1. And East Fremantle getting off to a hot start as well in the first quarter over at New Choice Homes Park, 2-2 to 1 behind. And another game tomorrow, that is at Leederville Oval. East Perth doing battle with Claremont.
And you know, that score 6-1-37 for South Fremantle. That's really what we should be looking at for Subiaco here. The scoreboard pressure is the only area where they've lacked, and really they could be leading by nearly 60 points at this point of the match.
With the way they've been able to control the football and keep it locked in inside that forward 50, they should be leading by about 6-7 goals. I'll go along with that because West Perth, their effort in defence was not there. They allowed plenty of players to roam free inside that 50, where players like Martin and Matera are able to get those easy marks. They just need to play that intense man-on-man defence.
Yep.
It's not working for them at the moment. But what they'll have to do is they'll have to at least get the 2-on-1 on Matera, because he's not a very tall guy, is Matera. He's only 173 centimetres, and they need to get Hamilton and Pecoraro playing on him and Martin for them to stem that scoreboard pressure and get the ball moving and set up their own. They need to manufacture goals out of good entries outside that, good clearance work outside the defensive 50.
As we get ready to take you back down to the middle. There's the Subiaco unit making their way into the back line.
There's Stainsby Clinch, who was back in the league side after another week of good performances. He played in the league side last week. And there, Delaporte, he's going to be essential if West Perth are to get back in this game. 32 points the difference in favour of the Falcons. In favour of the Lions, rather. Leading 4-8-32 with 12 scoring shots in that first term. Matera has 3. Second quarter underway here at Leederville Oval. Subiaco in complete control. Delaporte gets the first tap out. Black overruns it. Getting first to it is Kitchen. Socket off the ground. Walters breaks free. Swings it onto the right foot. Towards a teammate in Sokol. At ground level, not paid the mark. Umpire calls play on. West Perth looking to get the rebound. Pecoraro, long hand pass over the top. Only as far as Matera. Lovely volleyball towards Walters. Hacks it around the body. Sokol, the hand pass comes out. The kick towards the corridor of the forward line. Hobley, overrunning it. Well played in the end by Marsh. Gets the quick kick. Sokol couldn't hang on to that one. And West Perth can get themselves clear. Guadanin goes with the short pass and clears out of the defensive 50 to find Hobley. Hobley on the left half back flank. Centres the ball over the top. Lockyer. The far side, Road combining there with his teammates. He gets it back to Lockyer. The short pass. He chased his own kick and collided with Matera. Ooh. Gets the hand pass out, does Lockyer. Martin, now to Matera. Breaks through one, goes with the left foot. It's swinging back, but not far enough. And it is a behind. The first score for Subiaco in the first minute, 4-9-33. Still no score for West Perth. And the Falcons desperately needing to clean up their ball use and get back into this game.
And also, just as we look at the boundary, Matthew Lloyd for West Perth has come off, struggling to put any weight at all on his left foot.
Yeah, that's a big blow for West Perth. He's been one of their star players this season. Back towards right centre wing, and there was an illegal push, and that is against Stainsby. Stainsby will take the free kick. Oh no, Keitel will take the free kick and goes in board. Fine Lynch. Back to the bullseyes they go. Murray chasing Hobley. And he takes a good mark, does Hobley. Lovely sidestep. Goes with a short pass, but he was caught at the last moment. Lovely spin by Pecoraro. Gathers from outside the 50. Shoots towards goal. It's not going to make the distance. And overhand couldn't get hold of that one. Was a West Perth player in Keitel. It goes over the line for a throw-in. But this is their big chance, West Perth, to get that first score on the board, which has been desperately needed after the barrage of opportunities created by Subiaco in the opening half out. They'll contest about 25. Keitel palms it forward. Kitchen And Black converging around the football. The hand pass comes over the top. Cut off by Riddick. The hand pass out to Murray. Snaps back inboard. Good tackle being applied there by Antonio. Gets the hand pass out to Knott. His kick smothered. Salisic goes back to Lynch. Breaks through one. Doesn't break through the second. They want holding the ball and they're going to get it. Again, that pressure around the football is working wonders for Subiaco. And they'll clear it out of that defensive 50 once again. And Luke Worthington, Subiaco playing the pressure game at best, as clearing it out is Dewar.
Kick goes down the line from Dewar, and a strong mark is taken in by Sokol. Kick goes inboard, and West Perth have managed to turn it over. But Subiaco moving numbers towards the footy. It trickled back out. West Perth collecting it now. Handball went over the top. Murray took it in. Now on the outside. Handball goes inside. It was a good handball. Has not quite got West Perth's first score of the day.
No pun intended, of course. Still 33-0. And again, these repeat entries are starting to come back for West Perth. They're able to put the pressure back on Subiaco, but they need to get it done on the scoreboard.
Putt took a strong mark in a contest on the far wing. Kick into a pack. Trickles back down to ground. West Perth trying to push it forward. Struggling a little bit. Kick attempted inboard, but it was smothered down by Subiaco. Clark nearly had it. Ball goes to ground. And right in there, Sokol. Putt dived on top of it.
Laid a good strong tackle on Delaporte too. And the tackling game has also been very good for Subiaco. They're taking control on the tackle count too. And they're dominating in all the facets at the moment.
Delaporte and Putt go up for it again. Black. Subiaco controlling it. Kitchen, but it went over the line.
4-9 playing, no score on the Ross Discount Home Centre scoreboard. Paul Persick and Luke Worthington with you on front row screens, the best in the business. Not only sports streaming, but LED screens. If you want an LED screen for your next event, get a hold of Matty Williamson and he'll do you a magnificent deal. Ball stranded on left centre wing. Playing, they're coming off. And both sides are going to make a barrage of interchanges. There's Black. Got a gash on his left eye. And blood streaming from that area after a knock to the head. And he'll come off and get that checked out. A couple of players gone off with the blood rule. It's getting really physical out there this afternoon here at Leederville Oval. And there Aaron Black. He's going to have a big shiner on that left eye for the afternoon. The skipper. But he's a tough nut to crack for the West Perth Football Club, and gets a good round of applause from the West Perth section of the stand to the right-hand side of our commentary box. And play will get underway again. Delaporte and Putt. Putt taps it back, but now West Perth have got numbers. Nelson around the corner. It's an up and under. Keitel couldn't take the mark. Front and square was not. Goes for the short pass. Mark missed. Riddick releases Knott. Clever snap around the corner to the path of Murray. And Murray takes the mark, plays on, goes around the corner and puts through West Perth's first on the board. They had to be desperate there for a quarter and a bit. But Nathan Murray finally gets that first major on the board. And West Perth go to 1 goal 6, but they are a long way behind Subiaco. They are 4-9-33. Luke Worthington.
We can see it on the CD Dodd replay there. It was a beautiful mark taken in. Read the play perfectly, did Murray. And finally, West Perth putting one up on the scoreboard, but a lot of work is to be done.
And this is what we should have seen from West Perth in that first quarter. Getting desperate and getting first to it inside the 50. They like to play that free-flowing game, much like Subiaco did in the opening quarter. If they can get a couple of goals in, then that'll put the pressure back on Subiaco, but Subiaco have still got all the momentum. And
part of that was Subiaco letting up slightly. That allowed them to do that. So we need to see what the Lions can do here to bounce back. Ball goes to ground out of the ruck. Socked forward by West Perth. Collecting it, Subiaco. Kick thumped down the line. Smothered to ground by Nelson. Riddick's running for it. Almost wrapped up in a tackle by Full Gravy. And wrapped up was Hickmott.
What about that second effort from Scott Nelson there? couldn't get to clean possession, but it went to ground after he got the hand pass out, socket off the ground, and gained a further 25 metres.
Putt won the tap down. West Perth running onto it, and a big tackle there by Bailey Matera. And the recipient of that one was Boyce. He's been strong on the footy this afternoon, Boyce. Had a lot of the footy for the struggling West Perth side. He's used it well too. Putt moved it out for Clark. Clark bombing it inside 50. Matera was just underneath Gordon, who pushed it forward. Gordon sockers it away. Harris trying to run onto it into open space. But Shannon got there first. Bit of a collision on the far side.
Holding the ball.
And holding the ball is the call. The tackle was made by Robbins. And Robbins is going to have a chance to push Subiaco back inside 50. 8 minutes and 45 seconds gone on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. Does the opposite of what I said before. In fact, kicked it back. Subiaco are going to look to reset. Not a lot of options on the right-hand side.
They're pressing hard, West Perth, forcing the Lions to move the ball back.
Ball went over the top of Walters. Clark running onto it. Got the handball out, and there's going to be a free kick called the way of West Perth.
To reward for their forward pressure, simply magnificent in pushing Subiaco back as Pearce releases Murray. Tried to get the hand pass back out. He's under pressure. Moulton can get it back. Hobley kicks towards right centre wing. Nelson, good carry. The quick hand pass comes out. Murray has a bounce. Keeps running towards 50. Keitel in a 2-on-1. Good spoil from behind. It goes to the path of Hickmott, but overrunning it there was the veteran in Salisic. And it goes over the line for a throw-in. They're showing their desperation, West Perth, after that disappointing first quarter where they were held to nothing. And Subiaco need to do what they did in that first quarter, to play that free-flowing style and not succumb to the pressure. Keitel working it out the back. Tap forward, Boys. Caught in a beautiful tackle by Lockyer. And the umpire says, give it to me. The West Perth fans wanting holding the ball, but unfortunately not going to get it. It's about 30 metres out from the Falcons' goal. They'd love another one against the run Subiaco had. Matthews gets it out to Keitel, who was caught immediately, and a push in the back. Free kick will go Keitel's way, and Keitel will have a shot for his first and West Perth's second.
Yep. And good job there from West Perth. Good forward pressure. This is exactly what they need. And now they have their man taking the shot on goal.
And that's why they started off so well last week against Peel Thunder down in Joondalup. The way they were able to exert pressure on the football and manufacture chances from the centre clearances. So Keitel, he's on 47 goals for the season. And this will be for his first of the afternoon. And 40 metres out, and it sways to the left and across the face for a behind.
He had the right idea, tried to shape it in the wind, and I just don't think he got all of it that he needed on the boot. So Subiaco, under a bit of pressure now, are going to try and steady the ship. Kick went sailing down the corridor and taken in by Hamilton. West Perth with more pressure than they've had all game, and a good mark there, and pushed inside, and it was a great job by Keitel. Ball fumbling around, and the Subiaco supporters want holding the ball.
They got it.
And they've got it.
The tackling pressure that Subiaco have got all game has been nothing short of tremendous, and Heel rewarded with the free kick. Just never stopped going at the football, and Antonio.
Subiaco thumping it out of there. Walters running onto it. Kitchen's an option, and Kitchen has a lot of open space. Kicking it over the top, and good mark there.
Gordon.
By Gordon. Really did a good job there covering the last line of defence for West Perth, and West Perth are playing with more purpose than they have all game. 12 minutes into the second term as he kicks it down the far side. Mark gets taken in nicely by Lynch. Connell Lynch tried to stab it through, but the kick was a bit of a mongrel. Subiaco with a chance to move it back now. Kick went over the top and was brought in. And he will have the mark paid for in Lee Kitchen. Kitchen now slowing things down and looking for options. There's not a lot of them, but there was a good one on the far side. Chipped forward, and it's taken in by Marsh. Harrison Marsh kicks it inside, and a good one-handed grab there by Nick Martin. And Martin is going to have another shot on goal for the Lions.
And that's the same problem that West Perth have had in that defensive 50. They're letting those Subiaco forwards lead free inside that 50, taking these uncontested marks. Players like Martin and Matera are getting into more open avenues to goal, and that's why they're dominating in the mark count. Martin again, good hard lead, fine mark. 1-1
this afternoon. Martin has had 10 disposals, leading his side. Here he is for his second. Sailed across and no score for Martin. Couldn't quite reach the target. Moulton cleared it out of trouble. Went over the top of Clark. Running onto it, West Perth, as the handball travels out for Murray. It trickled over the line.
And that was a big chance for Nelson to get it over the top to Murray, and for West Perth to have an opportunity of going inside that 50 again. And they've equalled the ledger as far as the inside 50 counts go in this second quarter. We Keitel, who's having a go on the ruck. In fact, it's O'Donnell. O'Donnell loses out. Riddick barges his way through and tries for the fend off on Harris, but was taken over the line. Another throw in. And it's directly in front of our commentary position here at Leederville Oval. 4-9 playing 1-1 on the Ross Discount Home Centre scoreboard. 15 minutes in. O'Donnell and Putt in the ruck. Putt working it to the front. Walters and Marsh. Putt off the rebound. Socket off the ground. Close to the line. Well gathered by Clark. Gets it onto the left foot. Matera almost speared out of that one. And West Perth go on the counter-attack. Nelson up and under kick towards right centre wing. It's a 3-on-1. O'Donnell with the spoil from behind. Here comes Black, releasing Hobley. The short pass comes into half forward. Finds Riddick. He's got Keitel on his own. He went for the centering kick. Wasn't in the right place at the right time. Antonio snaps around the corner. And it's going to go as far as the boundary line. And it'll be another throw-in. But West Perth have got it where they want it. And they would love that second goal to peg that momentum back again. And they'll contest the ball at about 30 metres out from their goal. The wind's still a factor, but it's only light winds across the ground. Keitel pushes his opponent out. He snaps towards goal, but it bounces through for a behind. For West Perth, their second behind of the afternoon, 1-2-8 on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. West Perth starting to get those entries in, but they're getting minimal reward. They've only had one goal, and that was Murray in the 6th minute. But they would love another one, as Dewar brings it back into play. Packet plays flying, Putt in front, couldn't take the mark. West Perth numbers out the back of the football. Martin turns it over, Putt, and he was held on to. And it's going to be a free kick going the way of the Lions, and it is Martin. Goes across the ground, and the Lions can move it quickly. But they're being forced back. This Falcons forward pressure is immense at the moment, especially with the way they've been going in the second quarter. Marsh goes in board to find Walters. They're slowing things down now, but now they've got some free space. Subiaco got 3 players roaming forward. One of them is Martin. There's also a few players inside forward 50. Rode coming off the bench. He's going to be that +1 inside forward 50. But Martin, he elects to go to the outer side. Matera, players flying in a huge collision. Guadanin and Putt getting involved along with Moulton as the ball is spoiled over the line. Another throw in about 52 metres out from the Lions' goal.
West Perth looking a lot better in the last 10 minutes of this term. Are going to be prioritising getting a couple before the half-time siren. Ball goes to ground, gets socket forward over the top of a one-on-one contest. Matera was in there, but it's worked out of there beautifully by Gordon, who kicks and finds Salicic on the wing. He kicks it forward into the hands of Riddick. Had Stainsby trailing him. It was a strong mark. Looking for options, Riddick. Pumps it into the middle. Ball trickled over the top of Lynch, but Lynch is going to bring it in nicely. Almost got wrapped up in the tackle there. He's going to have to clear it soon. does, and the mark taken inside 50 by Keegan Knott.
That was magnificent from Connell Lynch. He stood up in the tackle under the barrage of Subiaco pressure, and the fact that he was able to lower his eyes, see a target inside forward 50 where Keegan Knott was. He likes playing in these wet conditions, is Keegan Knott. He may be a small forward, but he's got that adaptability in these conditions, and he's very mobile when the ground is a little bit muddy, and that's where he could play it down low at ground level. But a great effort by Lynch setting up Knott.
And a lot more of the ball is going to need to get through to Keegan Knott if he can help them turn the ship around. And here he is for his first of the afternoon. Keegan Knott. The kick looked decent leaving the boot, but it was just through on the right-hand side for a behind.
Yeah, that should have been rewarded for 5 more instead of 1, given how Lynch was able to get kicked to the lead of Knott uncontested, especially after his efforts with the football standing up to those 3 tackles. But that's another let-off for Subiaco.
They deserved that, West Perth.
Drought brings it back into play towards left half back. Della Porta getting a fist on it. Putt taking Shannon over the line, and we'll have another boundary throw in just by the hills there, where we got a nice decent gathering over there in spite of the weather. Had a lot of thunderstorms and heavy rain here in Perth over the week, but luckily it has stayed away for this first half. Putt working it to the front. Subiaco have numbers around the footy. Kitchen gets the hand pass out into the path of Clark, who punches it forward. Marsh and Shannon, but the ball beats them both for another throw-in. We're glad you can join us on Front Row Screen Sport. If you're joining us for the first time, Subiaco 4-9 to 1-3. Matera, Brandon Matera that is, getting 3 goals, the first 3 of the afternoon, then Martin getting the other for Subiaco, and Nathan Murray breaking the Falcons' duck with a goal in the 6th minute. Subiaco have the ball on centre half back, and they can get things going again. This is Matera telling players to move out wide. He goes with the left foot. Martin getting a spoil on it was Hamilton. Martin gets it back. He stayed down. Here's Hickmott. The kick in the full forward direction and finds Michael Brote rather. And Brote will have a shot for Subiaco's 5th of the afternoon.
Brote has 2 behinds on the afternoon so far, so to break the drought for him would be a great sign.
And this will hurt the Falcons with the way they've been desperate with those repeat entries inside 50. So Brote for his first. He kicked 3 last week in that win over South Fremantle. From just inside the 50 with the right foot. It's a good kick. It's home. Brote gets his first, and they draw ever so. They extend the lead to 30 points. And that's Subiaco's first of the quarter as well. They had to wait some 20 minutes, but the wait is certainly worth it, as we see on the CD Dodd replay.
Ran about as close as he possibly could to the mark there. And wasn't a small man on the mark either. Beautiful kick from Brote.
5-9
CD Dodd replay.
5-9 playing 1-3 as we reach the 22nd minute. And that goal is a real sting in the tail. And the way the momentum has panned in this game, Subiaco, after losing a little patch of it for the first 20 minutes, they've got it back through that goal from Ben Brote. Both sides with 1 goal each. Della Porta
back underway as West Perth moving it nicely. Kick goes closer to the far side. Bounced down and found Black, who snaps it to the top of 50. It was nearly taken in by Keitel, and a collision between Keitel and Pearce. Both seem to be okay, but the umpire is going to have the footy.
There's been a handful of those this afternoon, and West Perth have copped a little bit of the worst of it, I'd have to say.
Yeah, definitely a couple of blood rules we've seen. Aaron Black coming out mummified after his collision earlier. Clark nearly cleared it out of there. And trying to sling it onto the boot was Hickmott, couldn't quite do it. Ball shot past Moulton. Over the back where it's taken in by Pegararo. Now move back to Moulton again. Moulton finding Munns. Munns found an option and it's kicked through the middle, and that's going to be a free kick paid to West Perth. A high shot on Thomas Boyce, and he was not happy about that. And
that was against Kitchen by the looks of things. That was a coat hanger, if I'd ever seen one, and I reckon Kitchen will be under scrutiny for that one, because that was a high hit as far as the eye could see.
Kitchen may be in a little bit of hot water there, and there's more going on after the whistle, but the ball gets pushed inside the West Perth 50, and they're going to need to put numbers back in there. Subiaco clearing it, and a strong pair of hands. Takes it in, finds Clark. Broat with the footy. Now he's looking for options. Players converging on the ball. Taken in by Subiaco well. Moulton nearly had it, but Subiaco still holding on to it through Nelson. West Perth clear it out of there. Mark's taken in nicely by Hobley.
The former Subi Colts player would want to get a move on quickly. There's nobody inside that forward 50 at the moment, but he's electing to go inboard to the path of Delaporte. He's got the 2-on-1, but Delaporte takes the mark. The hand pass, releasing Murray. Kicks towards the forward 50. Keitel in front. He's up against Lockyer. Sidestep. Keitel from right on the 50. He kicks towards the top of the goal square. Riddick! Riddick with a fine mark and snaps the goal. West Perth get one back, and they go to 2-3 to 5-9. Riddick getting his first of the afternoon. And that fine movement of the ball from the Bullseyes towards the forward 50 was much needed for the Falcons.
Absolutely, Paul. And Riddick with a clever play here on the CD Dodd replay, but it all started back at the defensive 50 for West Perth. They moved the ball up the line beautifully. They've got themselves into a little bit of hot water with the high contact incident before. They moved it, had the ball turned over. Subiaco got it back inside 50 after they'd been given the free kick there, and they moved it back down the line and scored.
The way they were able to play it out wide back to the Bullseyes and open up some space was nothing short of brilliant. They had Delaporte and his teammate there roaming free. That was Murray inside the Bullseyes to get the hand pass, to get the open hand pass and thrust West Perth forward. That was magnificent play as the Falcons now trail by 24 points. Big second half coming up if either team can get another goal on this run. And the free kick with illegal disposal will go the way of Marsh. He's got Hickmott roaming free on the outer side, but he elects to go towards right half forward. Broat flying high, spoiled from behind. Broat looking to retain possession. He does. Hand pass out. Broat gets it back with the left foot over the top of Matera. Walters flying. Couldn't take the mark. West Perth roving it out the back brilliantly. Lynch under pressure. Good carry. Goes around Hickmott, looping it over the top. Munns releasing Lynch. The hand pass cut off by Broat. Broat's going to go towards half forward, finding Sokol. Heavy hit inflicted by Nelson, but front and square comes Matera, snaps towards goal, and he's kicked another one. Matera catching fire this afternoon. He kicked 3 in the first quarter, but out of nowhere, he read the drop to the football out the back when Sokol collided with Nelson. And Matera got the crumbs, snapped over the shoulder and threaded it through for a goal.
See it on the CD Dodd replay, the big collision there, but Matera just manages to get the scraps. And a crafty kick there, putting it through the big sticks. Sokol took a big knock, but seems to be fine.
But what Subiaco were able to do, they got more numbers around the football. Matera stayed down in that contest. All West Perth players went up. And that's where Subiaco have done plenty of damage in that forward 50. 6-9 to 2-3. It's now 30 points. That's the biggest lead of the game thus far. And we are on the stroke of half-time, about 26, 27 minutes in this second quarter. Ball's up. Matthews gets the tap out. Socket off the ground, but looked to have been holding on. And it's going to go the way of West Perth. Free kick taken by the Falcons. And Subiaco just telling Pearce, hey, there's the ball. You got to get it yourself. So Pearce, alongside the centre circle, being told to play on. It's to the outer side. That's where Hobley is. Running back with a flight. Great courageous mark under pressure. And that was by Harris. But his kick smothered. He's got Dwyer in support. Goes down the line. In the path of Sokol, caught by Moulton. Moulton with a good tackle and the steal. Backs it up with the left foot towards the forward 50. And a fine mark taken by Heel on the left half back flank. 27 minutes into this term. The margin 30 points. Heels kick, a risky one. But nonetheless, the mark taken by Hickmott for Subiaco. Going to go out back and find Lockyer. Lockyer on the left back pocket. Not far away from half time. Kicks it down the line outside the defensive 50. Pearce was in front, couldn't take the mark. And there's the siren. West Perth, they got a couple of goals back, but Subiaco have still got a hefty run of steam after the first half. They lead it by 30 points. And Luke, despite a better second quarter by West Perth, they're still not getting some of those fundamentals right. Subiaco, with those 2 goals late in that second term, they were able to stop the West Perth pressure that they found themselves in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And West Perth, you can see them moving themselves back into this game slightly, but the damage might be already done at this point because whatever they do, Subiaco does seem to have the answer for.
And that's where they owe their lead to. That first half hour of football, very strong. They easily out-tackled the West Perth side. They got more inside 50s and were able to put West Perth under pressure through a good physical brand. West Perth, in contrast, to be fair, and I'm going to be blunt here, they just look soft in that opening quarter, and they just need to get a harder approach and get a harder attack at the football, and they've got to get a 2-on-1 on a couple of those players who are causing some headaches. Matera and Martin have been immense up forward, and they deserve the lead that they've got, Subiaco, at the moment. We'll take a break, but when we do come back, we'll go around the grounds for the first half and the key possession getters here at Leederville Oval, where it is the Lions leading by 30 points over West Perth in our round 17 match of the day. Stay right there, because we'll be back after the break.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Leederville Oval, our round 17 match of the day. It's half time, and Subiaco are in complete control. 6-9-45 to West Perth, 2-3-15. Paul Persick and Luke Worthington with you as we show you the CD Dodd highlights. Luke, we mentioned just before the break that first half was owed to a very strong opening half hour, that Subiaco were able to get a lot more of the football, use it effectively, and get more numbers out the back for those easy chances at inside 50. West Perth, they were able to turn it a little bit in the first 10-15 minutes, but then when Subiaco got those 2 goals back, it was going to be one-way traffic again, and it was. Those 2 goals late for Subiaco hurt West Perth's charge to get back in the game.
And that's the thing about West Perth's charge back into the game. They had 5 scoring attempts and scored 2 goals, but Subiaco already with that buffer, all they needed to do themselves was just get the 2 goals back, and we saw them in the first term with about 12 scoring shots, I think it was, in the first term. So West Perth definitely did have the advantage in that term, but like you mentioned, the first half an hour of footy that Subiaco played has more than made up for it.
Key possession getters for both sides, Luke, please, and no wonder it's Matera dominating the game in the forward line.
Yeah, Brandon Matera, just quickly, he is 4th on Subiaco in the disposals at the moment, but 11 disposals for a forward made up of 6 marks is absolutely tremendous. He didn't have a mark inside 50 in that second term and still managed to get the goals. And, you know, one of them, he found it. He found the fall of the ball and managed to soccer it through, and that's where he's dangerous. He can find, if he's not taking those marks inside 50s, he'll find the other option. But disposal leaders, Paul, Greg Clark always for Subiaco up the top with 14 disposals. Nick Martin has also been immense with 14 disposals, and Harrison Marsh just sitting behind them with 12. On the other side, Shane Nelson, he has 16 for West Perth. Zach Gordon has 15. Aaron Black has 13, despite a little bit of time off for the Blood Rule. And Noah Pegararo with 12. Tyson Moulton has also done everything that he can in the back line with 11 disposals. If we take a look at the tackle count, however, this is quite a big story for this game. 15 tackles West Perth to Subiaco's 28.
Yeah, they're controlling the tackle count through their pressure at the football. They're easily out tackling the West Perth side. They've got more inside 50s, Subiaco. They've got more marks as well.
27 to 14, the inside 50s.
And they're doing the basic things right in moving the football towards that forward line. But as you see here, the Keitel kick to Riddick, that was capping off one of the best passages that West Perth have had throughout that first half. The setup from Delaporte, releasing Murray towards the half-forward line and getting players free inside that 50. That's the best passage I've seen from West Perth for all the first half. Other than that, they just weren't able to get enough clearances from the midfield and get enough pressure on the ball when Subiaco have got it in their forward 50. And that's what's going to be a big adjustment needed for West Perth if they want to get back into this game, because Subiaco are in complete command. They're doing everything right.
Absolutely, they are doing everything right. And, you know, even the minor slip-ups that they started to have in the second term, it's just not impacting them too much because they're too much of a strong unit. We'll
go around the grounds after our special halftime package with the help of Optus. Let's take a look at AFL Premiership player Will Schofield's return to the WAFL. And remember, it all starts with yes.
I started my career here in Western Australia. I played most of my first year at Peel. It was kind of a good transition between junior footy for me and then AFL. It was that middle ground where I sort of grew up a little bit, and it was why I was keen on coming back here. I really felt like they did have a lot to do with me developing not only as a footballer but as a man.
So Hawthorn have done it.
Probably took a long time to get over 2015. When you make a grand final, I think it's the best thing ever, and then when you lose it, you realise it actually could be the worst day of your life. 2015 was just a horrible day. It took almost 3 years to get back there. 2018 was life-defining for me. My best mate was killed in a bike accident. After round one, went to the funeral in Victoria. Pretty much considered not coming back to AFL. I had my first child in June of that year, so that was a real wake-up call for me, and it was great. Fatherhood, changed me a lot. It was a huge roller coaster ride for me that year. Really feeling like my whole AFL life, it was all just gone, and I missed the opportunity. I was not going to get the opportunity to validate my work by playing in a premiership. I wanted that opportunity to, in my mind, validate my worth as a player, but as a person.
The Eagle has landed. They're the premiers in 2018.
Having won, it certainly helped that, but I've definitely come to realise your value isn't what you are as a player, it's what you are as a person.
Yeah, well, really, when Scully decided to finish up playing at AFL level, I think he was lured naturally back to Peel, because this is where he played his football before he played AFL, and he felt the sense of the community down here, and he's got a young family. So from what I can understand, it was quite an easy decision for Will to come back to the club, and yeah, we're definitely thankful that we've got him.
Like sort of any player that comes out of the AFL, you're exposed to an elite level of everything really that comes with AFL. Training, diet, mentality, you name it, we've seen it at AFL level. So I guess some guys go into coaching, and not really for me. I don't really see myself as a coach, but I do like teaching, and I like leading young men.
I know he's really optimistic about the young talent that's coming through here at the club. So it's been great for him to run our emerging leaders program with our Colts and our senior emerging leaders. There's no doubt that he'll help those guys develop.
I do it fortnightly. We work through everything I've learned as an AFL footballer. So it's a little bit of a masterclass for them on leadership, but really it's about being a better man and leading better as a person, understanding yourself, and giving you a platform to succeed. If the guys go out and get drafted, I'd be proud, but it would be awesome to see. But if they come out and they've learned something and they're able to be a better person outside the footy club, well, I've probably played my role.
Panning across from our beautiful city of Perth onto Leederville Oval. That was our special halftime package with Eagles premiership hero Will Schofield. What a game he had that day in 2018 when the Eagles were victorious in that thrilling grand final over Collingwood at the MCG. We'll go around the grounds for the other games of round 17. East Fremantle leading Swan Districts by 20 points. South Fremantle, what about this? 13-80 to Peel Thunder 1-8 at half-time. An absolute walloping South Fremantle are handing. And speaking of the West Coast Eagles, 11-4-70, leading Perth 3-2-20 at half-time at Mineral Resources Park. And, of course, another game still to be played tomorrow. East Perth and Claremont. Some of the super slow-mo highlights thanks to CD Dodd. Magnificent stuff there down at ground level.
Looks great.
Oh, I think I could put it in two better words. Awfully good. It is simply magnificent, the stuff that the guys do at FRS. And the intensity of the game cannot be counted out as well, Luke. You know, both sides have been intense. There's been a few scuffles here and there, but both sides getting quite physical at the football. Now, as the highlights go on, Luke, the big news on Thursday, it was announced that the West Australian Football League for 2021 would be extended by 2 weeks. And that means to accommodate the lost rounds that we had to endure because of the lockdowns here in WA have now been accommodated into split rounds. So it will now be a 22-round season instead of a 20-round competition. But also, the final 5 will not change. The grand final will be on the first weekend of October at Optus Stadium. We know Optus Stadium is going to host it, but now the date has been confirmed as well. So a good call made by the West Australian Football Commission to get all the games in and extend the season by another 2 weeks. And that means more footy for our great WA fans.
Yep, I was very happy to see the release earlier in the week saying that the rest of the season will be played, and you know the implications that this has on the season is quite significant.
Especially with the top 5, you know, still
exactly.
set, but also the way the teams finish within that top 5.
Exactly, and that's the important bit. Peel Thunder are sitting on 16 points in 6th, and Swan Districts are on 32 points in 5th. So you know, not too much is going to happen there unless there's a really late surge and somebody's ready to drop out of the top 5, which I really don't see happening at this point. But like you said, Paul, the way that the top 5 shapes up, it's absolutely crucial that those games do get played. There's only 8 points difference between 5th and 1st, and both Subiaco and Claremont are tied on 40 points at the moment. So there's a lot to do in that top 5.
And the percentage is still going to be a key because Subiaco have got a superior percentage, 20 ahead of Claremont. West Perth in 3rd, but they'll likely stay in 3rd or either drop down to 4th because of the big percentage gain that South Fremantle have got in the first half. But still a big half of footy to get to here at Leederville Oval, 6-9-45 to 2-3-15. We're going to take another break, but when we do come back, all the second half action. Can West Perth pull off a magnificent comeback, or will it be Subiaco who have taken control in the first half, maintain it in the second half and go to a big win and further cement their position atop the WAFL ladder, with the second half coming up after the break.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Leederville Oval on this overcast Saturday afternoon. Thank golly there is no rain though, as the Lions are preparing to come back out onto the field for the start of the second half, where they have a big advantage over West Perth. They lead it by 30 points, 6-9 to 2-3 Paul Persigan, Luke Worthington with you. Thanks to CD Dodd, Shutterguard, Ross's Discount Home Centre, and Front Row Screen Sport, your number one in 2021. Plenty of contributors everywhere for Subiaco in that first half, Luke, and that's why they're in the position that they are in. 30 points in front at halftime. Big second half coming up, and they've had contributors everywhere from the forward line to that defensive 50. And we talked about it being a game of backlines. If you were to put one backline in front of the other in terms of where the advantage is at, it's Subiaco by 2 country miles.
Yeah, absolutely. Subiaco have been the superior outfit in this game in all 3 areas, and that West Perth unit that we're looking at on screen has a lot of work to do, even just to close this gap in any form.
And it's a big gap, given how the game has panned out. You know, it hasn't been pretty. It wasn't pretty in the opening 11 minutes, where Subiaco were able to get 4 behind, and the breeze was quite a stiff breeze across the ground, and that's where scoring was made quite difficult. But also the way West Perth were a bit soft in that back line. You know, they weren't able to get first to the football. They couldn't get numbers back because of how Subiaco took the contest head on. But also, what West Perth have to do is, when they're entering that forward 50, is get more avenues to goal. They haven't done that in that first half, and that's where players like Keitel and Knott need the added supply from their midfield, because they've got other forward targets they could go to. They've got players like Salisic, Murray, and of course Thomas O'Donnell, who started up forward, and you also got Rudy Riddick, who kicked West Perth's second goal of the second quarter late to peg the margin back for at least a minute.
I think having Riddick further down in the forward line might be a good option for them. He is a lot more handy down there, just given how immense he can be and his ability to come in and kick a bag like he has in other games. I think that might be something that could benefit them.
But also in that Subiaco forward line on the other side of the ground, you've got Brandon Matera. You can see there on your screen. He's kicked 4. He's the leading goal scorer of the afternoon. 3 in the first quarter to get Subiaco going, and then 1 to finish off the first half. That really stung the Falcons at the end when they were doing so well again. They were getting more of the football and more entries inside 50. He is going to be a key in the second half. If he kicks around 2 or 3, then it could be good night for the Falcons like that. And Subiaco, another big healthy boost in percentage.
Yeah, Matera's been immense, and they seemed to manage to slow down his marking in that half. Well, I mean, seemed to. He didn't have a mark inside 50 in that term.
It was because West Perth's defenders were able to get on him a little bit more and play a little more physical on him.
Yep, exactly, and that's exactly what they were able to do. So then moving forward, he was then able to counteract that by getting the ball on the ground in these tough conditions and kicking goals that way.
Now, on the subject of Subiaco, you came into the box this afternoon with a little retro touch. You've got the classic Subiaco jacket with the old Western Underwriters logo on it. You're thinking it's retro round. I like that.
Yeah, I do have this. I found it in my closet this afternoon after moving house. So shout out to my dad, David Worthington, who owns this jacket that I am now in possession of.
It is an awfully good jacket.
Very nice.
Love the classics. Very good stuff.
I notice I usually walk around the ground and, you know, you smile at people as you walk past them, and I've never worn merch to the game before, and no smiles from the West Perth fans today when I've been walking past them.
Only from the Subiaco fans. But nonetheless, the second half about to get underway. And we're seeing a few fans wearing some of the classic merch for both sides, and it's great to see the fans showing their colours again in the best state in the country and in the best city in the country. Beautiful Perth in Western Australia. We're glad you can join us on Front Row Screen Sport, your number one in 2021, from West Australia to all the way across the world, live on Facebook and YouTube, as we're about to get the second half underway. And it's going to be an important one for both sides. The first 10 minutes are going to be very crucial to see whether Subiaco can extend that ascendancy that they've got going for them, or West Perth, if they can get back into this game and get 2 or 3 quick goals on the burst and stop the run that Subiaco have got after half-time. 6-9 playing 2-3. Matera has 4. Murray and Riddick, the only goal kickers for the Falcons. These 10 minutes are going to be very important indeed in this round 17 match of the day. Delaporte and Putt ready for the stare down in the ruck. Black and Nelson, sweepers in that ruck contest. Lynch and Harris alongside the centre square. Players just getting themselves set now for the start of the second half. It's a big one for both sides. Subiaco in control. They lead it by 30 points. Big half hour of footy coming up as Delaporte and Putt. Delaporte wins the tap out. It goes to Murray. West Perth get the all-important first clearance. towards Matera. And Subiaco can recover it. They go back out onto right centre wing. Robbins in front, couldn't take the mark. Was he held? Umpire says play on. And the ball down at ground level. Robbins has it, but he's caught by a barrage of West Perth tacklers. And we'll have ourselves a ball up on the outer wing. Harris, the free man. In the ruck contest, they go in his direction, but West Perth with greater numbers. Clear out of the centre. Leaping high. Good mark, Tyler Keitel. Needing to hit the scoreboard early. Keitel goes to the outer side in the direction of Antonio. On the half volley. Hand passes it back into play. And the tackle being applied by Antonio and a couple of teammates. They're wanting holding the ball, and they are not going to get it. It was on clinch rather. And Subiaco will catch a bit of a break. But the ball's in West Perth's 50. Keitel snatches it out of the ruck. Finds an opening. His kick smothered by Clark. Gets the hand pass out to Matera. And now they can clear out of the defensive 50. Short pass comes to Marsh. Hand pass over the top. Releasing Clark on the run. Broke. Under pressure from Delaporte. Gets the hand pass back out to Kitchen. Kitchen swings onto the right foot towards half forward. Martin leaping high, but in front. Guadanin takes a good mark under pressure. And West Perth can reset inside their defensive 50. Guadanin goes for the stab pass, finding his captain in black. And they're going to slow things down, West Perth. If they want to get back into this game, they'll have to take the tempo away from the Lions. Short pass, not 15. Guadanin swings onto the right foot, and there's a free kick. And it's holding on. It's going to go the way of the veteran in Salisic. Goes down the line to a one-on-one. In front, Antonio. Good spoil there by Heel. And it goes over the line for a throw-in. And it's going to be on the attacking side of centre for West Perth. 2 minutes into the third quarter. Subiaco leading by 30 points on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard.
So a boundary throw-in further towards West Perth's end. They go up for it. It goes to ground. Takes a bounce. Subiaco come down with it through Kitchen, stabbing it forward, and the mark was dropped. But Matera manages to hold on to it, dancing around, trying to find an option. Kicks it towards 50, and the mark was nearly taken in by Broad. It was. Now he's going to have to look for options. Running. The kick towards goal, and the mark is taken in nicely. And it's Sokol, the danger man, who's going to have a snap from the boundary.
That was a brilliantly read kick by Broat. He knew where Sokol was going with the backing in with the flight of the football.
Yep.
Sokol read it brilliantly, took a lovely mark running back, and he has a well-earned opportunity.
So Sokol with a snap around the body for Subi's first of the term. And they've done it.
Simply magnificent from Ben Sokol. He gets the Lions off to a hot start. And that's his first. And he hasn't been kicking a few big bags lately because the goals have been belonging to Matera and also Marsh. But as you see on the CD dot replay, beautiful follow through that snap around the corner against the breeze. And he was very elated with that one, giving Broat and Matera encouraging high fives. And that's the start Subiaco are after. When we talked about how Subiaco are a good starting side after the halftime break, they're also a good finishing side as well. So with the momentum that they've got heading into the final quarter, they could really put the sword to the Falcons with the margin that they've got.
Absolutely, Paul. So heading back down to the middle. Putt goes up for it. Ball hit the deck. West Perth crumbing it well. Kick goes inside 50. Running onto it. Salicic, and he couldn't get there.
Walters coming off for Subiaco. In comes Liam Hickmott. Liam Hickmott now wearing number 16.
Putt pushed the ball down. Marsh went to ground. He was wrapped up in a nice tackle by Nelson. Ball goes up again. Putt gets the tap. Nelson trying to clear it. Subiaco heavy pressure on the footy. Dewar collects it. Handball on the far side. Kick goes flying and just a step too far, out of bounds on the foot.
Now West Perth can have the opportunity to bring it back into their attacking 50. And it'll be Pecoraro that'll take the free kick. On left centre wing, we've got a couple of players roaming inboard. Pecoraro goes down the line. Huge pack of players. Great mark under pressure by Rowe. Virtually uncontested, flying from the back of the pack and reeling that one in. Subiaco can move it quickly. Stainsby out of defensive 50. Gets the hand pass out. Releasing Martin. Lockyer. Short to the far side. Clark. He can go over the top, and that's a beautiful kick finding Hickmott. We've got a couple of players roaming free. Matera, one of them, but a good spoil from behind. Guadanin sends it over the line for another throw-in. 51 playing 15 on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. We've gone past the 6-minute mark. Ben Sokol scoring the first of the third quarter. And now the Lions have it back in their attacking 50. Hobley, hand pass over the top to Black. Losing his footing, but got the hand pass out into space. Covered by Hickmott, out to Kitchen. Hickmott kicks down the line to the forward pocket. And Moulton takes it over the line, another throw-in. So with the result that Subiaco have got at the moment, with the margin that Subiaco have got at the moment, they'll get another big percentage boost. And even with Claremont winning tomorrow, if they can beat East Perth, Subiaco would stay on top of the ladder with the percentage that they have. And they'll get another boost today with the performance that they've had, as the ball is trapped by a couple of players locked in that forward 50. Delaporte working it to the front, but they both miss it. And there's a free kick. Delaporte was held on to, and he'll take the free kick about 20 metres out from their goal. Delaporte kicks towards half back. Unable to hang on to that one was Fulgrave. And it trickles over the line, another throw-in. 51 playing 15 on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard if you're just joining us for the first time. Matera has 4. Martin, Brote and Sokol each have a goal for the Lions. Murray and Riddick the only for West Perth.
Back underway. Ball missed everyone. Was thumped by Hobley and moved inside the defensive 50 nicely by West Perth. Kick went over the top as Moulton runs onto it. Kicked it off a step, and it's going to trickle over the boundary line.
Well, Dwyer just couldn't get a hold of that one, and that's where West Perth have been kicking to a lot. They've been kicking to the 2-on-1s too many times when Subiaco have got the numbers around the football. They need to get it to more loose men and the +1 inside their attacking zone.
So, right at centre on the far side, a boundary throw-in. The Rucks go up for it. Black collected it, and taking it in and bringing it over the line was Nelson. Got a bit of a shove after by Hickmott, now wearing the number 16 jersey.
We had he got a hip and shoulder there on Nelson, and players just pushing and shoving there. It's been a bit of a heated encounter, this one.
So we're back right where we started from. Rucks go up for it again. Subiaco brought it in. Handball goes out of there, but West Perth with the better of it. Kick thumped down the line, running onto it, Dewar. Over the boundary again. No, a free kick has been paid to West Perth. And they're going to pump it back inside 50. And Keitel with the mark for West Perth's first opportunity of this term.
That's a fine setup from not all the way to Keitel. Keitel changed his route when going on the lead and caught Subiaco defenders off guard when roaming free into open space inside that 50. And Keitel, when he's on song, he can sing a very good one.
Keitel for his first of the afternoon. And he puts West Perth on the board in the third term. 7-9-51. Subiaco, they lead West Perth 3-3-21 on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. You see here on the CD Dodd replay, beautiful right foot kick. That was a tough angle as well, and the wind was going against him. So he needed to kick that pretty sweetly on the right boot with the wind going across from left to right.
But he's a magnificent kick from any angle, Tyler Keitel. He kicks big bags on a constant basis, and that was his 48th goal of the season. So 2 more, and he'll reach the half century. And more importantly, the Falcons pegged the margin back to 30 points, which was the margin at half-time. Breeze still a factor this afternoon here at Leederville Oval. And West Perth getting that goal back after Ben Sokol struck early for the Lions. Matthews getting the tap out. Walters getting on the end of it. Through the front edge of the centre, puts it out in front of Matera, who slips over. West Perth with numbers. Guadanin goes for the short pass and finds Nelson. Shane Nelson will push it wide. And West Perth look to gain further ground, signalling to push back. They go down the line. O'Donnell in front. All went up in the contest. Salicic caught in a beautiful tackle by Dewar, and it's holding the ball. Dewar will take the free kick. Good strong tackle applied. The tackle count well in favour of Subiaco. Dewar towards left half forward. Walters in front. Couldn't take the mark. Looping it over the top. Walters gets it back. Swings onto the right foot to the lead of Martin. Martin, a great mark on a good lead. Set up by that well-weighted kick by Walters. And he'll have a shot for his second goal of the afternoon.
Solid lead there from Martin, and Subiaco have been able to bounce straight back again after the West Perth goal. And this has been a factor that separated them all afternoon. Their ability to bounce back after opposition scoring opportunities.
So this for his second. He'll kick from about 35 metres out with the wind at his back. And that was simply effortless by Martin. A good goal. That's his second. And they stretch the margin back to 36 points. 8-9 playing 3-3 on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. And Luke, the Lions again taking command.
Beautiful kick here from Martin. What a pure kick of the footy. And he knew that was in the moment it left his boot, and so did we from up here, even on a different angle.
Simply an effortless kick it was. Simply it was an effortless kick by Nick Martin.
Yep.
Good follow through, nice drop of the footy. And that's what you want to see from your prime goal kickers. So Martin has 2. And by the looks of things, he goes up to 18 for the season in 2021. And a great timely goal too after West Perth got one back at the 10-minute mark. Goal for goal at the moment, but Subiaco still with a clear headway.
Back underway in the middle. Ball's going to be thrown up. A bit muddy in some parts of the ground. Clark handballed it off and the kick went forward and the mark's taken in. Smothered well. And now Subiaco under a little bit of pressure from the West Perth numbers. No trouble at all as Bright finds it at right half forward.
Not 15.
Not 15 was the call. Now Subiaco trying to move it inside 50 for Hickmott. Hickmott nearly found Matera, and West Perth will clear it out of trouble, but not before it goes straight back into the hands of Angus Dewar, who was right underneath the flight of the ball. Dewar kicks it through the corridor into the hands of Martin. Kicked the goal before, and he's going to switch it right out wide now. What can Subiaco do here as they get West Perth moving? And the ball goes in, and the mark was not quite taken in. Now Subiaco under some pressure. Chad Harris is trying to collect it. Ball spills out. Clark around the body, ball hovering in the air, and it's going to be rushed over the line.
And again, those numbers around the football are proving to be what is essential for Subiaco in maintaining that scoreboard pressure that they've had all throughout the afternoon. 18 scoring shots to 4 in this game. So it's been completely dominated by the Lions as West Perth send it back into attack. Stainsby over the top, couldn't take the mark. West Perth now on the move. Down the line they go to the path of Murray. Clever spoil to the path of Salicic. Loops it over the top, releasing Hobley. Hobley kicks in board. Riddick running back with a flight, takes a good mark. And we talked about at half-time, Luke, how Riddick needed to spend more time up forward to get that extra avenue to goal. And that's what they did there, with Hobley moving the ball quite well, as Riddick goes for his second, makes no mistake. Riddick gets number 2, and they stretch it to 31, and they peg it back to 31 points. at the 15-minute mark of this third quarter, thanks to Ross's Discount Home Centre. That quick kick, he didn't waste any time, did Rudy Riddick. He wanted to get on with it because they know West Perth are still in with a fight, but this goal for goal is not helping them.
Yeah, and Riddick is much more dangerous in those lower positions, and they did have him on playing down the wings a little bit before, and this is his specialty, being at the full forward position. And those two goals have been timely for West Perth, and they put them in a much better position.
Well, his 18th goal of the season, and he usually averages around 1.5 each game. And so him being positioned much more deep in the forward line suits him a lot better, I'd have to say. He usually would start in the forward pocket. So that's where he should be, maybe at full forward for a game or two, to further extend West Perth's forward depth, which hasn't presented itself well, to be blunt, for much of this game. So the ball's back in the middle. Delaporte gets the tap out. Roved brilliantly in the end there by Boys. Kick short and finds Murray. Murray on the attacking side of centre. He goes inboard to the path of Antonio. Leaping high was Keitel. Walters at ground level. Good effort. The hand pass intercepted. Murray again. And he's caught. Beautiful tackle applied by Clinch. And it's going to be a free kick going the way of Clinch on Subiaco's half-back line.
So Subiaco moving it around the horseshoe. Clark brings it in. Clark's been solid this afternoon. 19 disposals. Walters punched it forward. Martin brought it in.
Martin has also been impressive as well. He's gotten plenty of the football and he's been very effective with it.
Up and down the ground he's been playing as well, Martin. He kicks it high into a contest, and right in the middle of it was Bailey Matera. He kicked it forward. Running onto it is Marsh, and he got tackled nicely. The West Perth fans wanted ball but didn't get it. West Perth clearing it out of there now, but Subiaco were already there. Heel found Putt. Putt kicked it through. Matera nearly brought it in. West Perth moving it nicely now. Hobley moved it. Black. Pierce. Black again. Kicks it out to the far side, where the mark is taken in by Antonio.
Keitel's roaming free inside forward 50. If they move it quickly, they could get it to him on his own, but they need to move it effectively from the defensive half.
Nelson to the hands of Black. Black slowing things down. Chipped forward and taken in by Antonio. Not a lot of options presenting themselves for Antonio. Has a couple of short leads. Moulton was there, but he's going to kick it down the line. And strong pair of hands as the handball goes off. West Perth trying to move it through the corridor. They're doing it well. The ball trickles forward, collecting it now. The handball goes back to Christopher Shannon. He's under a lot of pressure. Gets the hands out of there, and the kick went forward, not before he was tackled beautifully, but now it drops in the square and now snapped around the body.
Oh-ho!
And a beautiful goal
Pierce.
by Pierce. Can they do it? We'll have to see. 8:10:58. Subiaco, they lead West Perth 5-3, 33 on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. The seated odd replay.
They had to get numbers to the front of the football. Mitchell Pearce was nothing short of fantastic there. When Keitel went down, when Lynch went down, Pearce kept his feet, good gather, and went for the quick snap. That's what they had to do if they wanted to get that next goal. They've scored 3, and Subiaco have got 2. And that goal, pretty much out of the crumbs, front and square, was Mitchell Pearce. Simply brilliant.
And West Perth still with a lot of work to do, but promising signs.
They've got it back out to 25 points, and we are 18 minutes into the third quarter. If they can get at least 2, then we got ourselves a game, but Subiaco are still in control. They've gotten the better of the use of the football, but they cannot afford to turn their foot off the gas. Delaporte gets the tap out, but it's roved brilliantly by Clark. He kicks towards half forward, and taking a very good mark there was Shannon. Shannon goes across the ground. 1-on-1. Keeping his feet was Munns. Munns kicks in the direction of Pearce, but he overran it, and Subiaco will get it clear again. They go inboard, and there's a free kick that's going to be in favour of Hickmott. He was held on to, and he will claim it alongside the centre circle. Hasn't got a lot of options roaming free, so he's forced to switch it up. And Subiaco will be keen to slow things down after this third goal by the Falcons. Down the line they go. No mark taken. West Perth with numbers out the front. Munns was one of them. Another was Nelson. They go out to Pearce. Murray. Back to Pearce. Swings onto the left foot. They contest about 55 metres out. Keitel needing the sit. Good pressure applied by Lockyer, and that allows Subiaco to turn it over. Stainsby. Well stood up in the tackle. Got boots the ball just in time. Only as far as Lynch. Good use of the body by Lynch. Gets the hand pass out to Antonio. Antonio's kick partially smothered by Kitchen. Good attack of the ball there by Duar, but West Perth, that number's out the back. Hamilton out to Antonio. His hand pass smothered. Robbins lays a good tackle. Is he going to be rewarded? The umpire says no, I will have it. And again, some pushing and shoving going on there. The tackle applied on Shannon. Players just getting off each other there. There was a bit of a tangle. Tap goes out to Marsh. Looping hand pass over the top. Releases Harris. He goes towards the 50. His kick in the direction of Putt. No mark taken. Sokol, spearing tackle by a couple of West Perth players. It's at 30 metres out from the Lions' goal. But it'll stay there. The umpire says, give it to me. Starting to get really interesting now. In the final few minutes of this third term. The margin, 25 points in favour of Subiaco. Hand pass comes out. Marsh, hard at the football. And they cover about 10 metres of ground of the Lions. Clark gets the quick snap. Towards the goal line. Barging in there was Marsh. Subiaco looking for numbers around the football. The hand pass comes out, but not very far. Sokol barging in on a West Perth player. We'll have ourselves another ball up. And they'll contest about, a couple of metres out from the Lions' goal. Much needed one for Subiaco. Matthews gets the tap out to Marsh. A high snap around the corner. But it is nothing but nothing. Out of bounds on the full. And West Perth will get the opportunity to reset with 23 minutes into the third quarter.
West Perth booting it out of there. Flyers went up for Subiaco. At the fall of it was not. He pumped it forward. Subiaco running onto it now. West Perth numbers coming in. Keitel went down and got wrapped up in the tackle. The umpire will have it.
That was a fine effort from Keitel to keep the ball locked in inside that forward 50 when he was in a 2-on-1 against those Subiaco defenders. Great play.
Ball goes up in the West Perth 50. Putt wins the tap down. Running onto it, Lynch. Trying to spin out of it, West Perth. A lot of Subiaco numbers around the ball. The umpire has it again.
No, it's a free kick. The non-officiating umpire paid a high tackle. It's in favour of Boys.
Okay, so Boyce pumps it down there, and beautiful defensive mark brought in by Subiaco. It was Lockyer. Lockyer's going to look for options now. The Subiaco defence has not been very busy this afternoon. The mark was nearly taken by Martin. Ball on the deck. Players converge. No one can get it out of there. The umpire will have to have it.
It'll be about 65 metres out from West Perth's goal. They're in their attacking zone. They desperately love another one. But Subiaco made them work hard for their goals. Delaporte.
Go up for it. West Perth trying to snap it in. Couldn't quite do it. Under pressure from Putt was Hobley. Hobley still under pressure from Putt. Tapped it out of trouble. West Perth move it in through Delaporte, and the mark was nearly taken by Subiaco, but it trickles back out for Murray. Snapping it around the body's not! And he's got it! Goal of the game for West Perth.
Well, Keegan Knott's a rock-solid wet weather player, and that's a good glimpse into what he can do. He stayed down when the ball was trickling along the ground as we go to the CD Dodd replay. There you see Murray, got the hand pass out, Knott just kept his feet under pressure, and a good snap towards the goals. That's the goal West Perth needed this late in the third quarter.
Absolutely. As they bring the score even closer in, and they're closer than you think. 8-10-58. West Perth, Subiaco, they lead West Perth 6-3-39.
You wouldn't think that they would get back into it after the quarter time. They led by 32, Subiaco, and now they've let it slip slightly. They've taken their foot off the gas. They can't do that, especially since they are a good finishing team. And out of the 13 final quarters, they've won 10 of them.
And they lead by 19 points, Paul.
They certainly do. Final minutes of this third quarter. Marsh clears it out of the centre circle. Walters looking to rove it in. But West Perth have players around the football. One of them was Nelson. He gets it out to Hobley, and they play it out wide. Pecoraro explodes through the centre, kicks it out in front of Riddick. He couldn't take the mark, but out the back there, brilliantly played by Heel. Gets the hand pass over the top, releasing Lockyer. Lockyer's high kick in the direction of Martin. Pecoraro couldn't hang on to that one. The hand pass comes out. A couple of West Perth fans not happy with it, and a shove on Hickmott by Lynch takes him over the line, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. Another goal for either side would possibly see the catalyst fall in their favour ahead of the fourth quarter. These next few minutes will be crucial. Delaporte out the back, snatches it out of the ruck. Quick kick towards the attacking 50. Keitel looking to get the hand pass out, releasing Murray. Goes through one, gets a quick snap, and he's caught. Great tackle there by Walters. But what cost, though? He's still down on his haunches. He'll get the free kick.
I got a poke in the eye by accident, I think.
He could be right, and that was from Murray. But Max Walters will get the free kick, and it's going to be inside Subiaco's defensive 50. They lead it by 19 points. They led by 32 at quarter time and 30 at half time. The West Perth have pegged it back. Players flying over like nobody's business. Hamilton out at ground level. Couldn't hang on to that one. The hand pass only as far as Marsh. But Hickmott unable to get the clean pickup. He's over the line, and so is the ball for another boundary throw-in. We're in for a big finish here at Leederville Oval. West Perth have been able to peg it back. They've been able to get the better of Subiaco in the third quarter. 4-2. Delaporte out in front. Gets the tap out. Black slips over at the wrong time. The hand pass intercepted by Marsh. Comes out to Kitchen. Goes through the legs. Delaporte keeps it out in front. He goes down. So does Matthews. Kitchen gets caught. Black, a high check side kick close to the boundary line. Not unfavoured by the bounce. Well played by Nelson. He gets the kick towards the attacking 50. I'm not sure if that's going to be deliberate. That'll be a 50-50. It is!
Yep.
Well, goodness gracious me. They always come up under debate. And that one, I think, will be no exception.
The way that deliberate's been called has just more been intent, and really if there's anyone around there whatsoever in the general vicinity, and that time there wasn't.
So Subiaco will get it back on centre wing, but the mark taken, Pecoraro. On right centre wing, just in front of our commentary position, Pecoraro will boot it long to the Keitel direction on left half forward. Lockyer! Well, he's had a big third quarter. At full-back is Andrew Lockyer. 2 very good marks in the last 5 minutes. Lockyer will chip it short and find Drew Rode. Rode will have time to assess his options. Trying to find that loose man on right centre wing. And that's where he's going to go on the siren. West Perth were able to peg the margin back with 4 goals in the third quarter. But Subiaco still hold the advantage. It is a 19-point gap in favour of the Lions. Heading into this final quarter, it's going to be quite an interesting finish, Luke Worthington, heading into this last quarter here at Leederville Oval, because Subiaco, they started off very well. The first 10 minutes belonged to them, but after that, Subiaco got the momentum back their way with 4 good goals. They're using the ball a lot better now, which is what we should have seen in the first half of football.
And West Perth have closed this margin really, really well, like you said, Paul. 3 goals in it, and they're going to need an absolutely dominant fourth quarter from the Cardis to get back in this one, but, you know, it could just be the one goal from Subiaco that ends it all.
But Subiaco have a winning percentage in final quarters of 77, which could well play into their favour at the end of the final term. And when we come back from the break, all the final quarter action here at Leederville Oval, our round 17 match of the day. It's the Subiaco leading by 19 points ahead of West Perth here at Leederville Oval. Back with the finish shortly.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
West Perth have got a big task ahead of them. They were able to steer the margin back to 19 points in the third quarter. They kicked 4 goals to 2. And we have got ourselves a real grandstand finish in our round 17 match of the day here at Leederville Oval. Paul Persick and Luke Worthington with you in the box. Luke, we'll go over some of the possession getters as the CD Dodd highlights begin. Big third quarter for West Perth at Subiaco. They had some big contributors of their own. One through Andrew Lockyer, who took 2 very crucial marks in defensive 50.
Yeah, Lockyer was immense in that half, and he's sitting quite nicely for Subiaco with 16 disposals. Should get over 20 by the end of the game. Nick Martin has 19, immense third quarter from him as well. Greg Clark, I mean, it's funny, you haven't seen too much of him compared to what you usually would on a normal week, and he's sitting there second on his team with 21 disposals, 3 marks and 2 inside 50s. He's also drawn in 5 free kicks of his own, Greg Clark, and there's been 12 in total. So, free kicks against, whoops, so got in a bit of trouble there. I read that the wrong way around. Harrison Marsh has 24 disposals and he's leading the side. For West Perth, Shane Nelson, 29 disposals. Aaron Black has 21. Gordonen has 19. Pegararo has 15. And Hobley has 14. Hey, how's this? The first 6 possession getters on West Perth all have exactly 4 marks.
Simply incredible. Sometimes weird things happen when crunching down the numbers in WAFL football. But you talked about Hamilton, Pegararo and Guadagnon. They were fantastic in that third quarter, reeling in those intercept possessions and getting West Perth going inside from defensive 50 up into attack. Their setup and their vision was nothing short of brilliant in taking Subiaco off their game in the final 15 minutes. And
they have been fantastic, and the tackle count has closed in as well, though Subiaco are dominating it. It is a lot better than the first half. Tackle count 46 Subiaco to 31 West Perth. Stories as well, the inside 50 count has closed in. Inside 50s for Subiaco 38, and for West Perth 23.
Simply incredible. West Perth still in this game, but Subiaco have a clear advantage. We'll go around the grounds for the third quarter, and my goodness, there have been some first-class dominating performances from some of the teams in this round of football. At three-quarter time, South Fremantle over at David Gray's Arena, 18-6 to 3-3 over Peel Thunder. They'll gain a massive percentage boost. West Coast are still leading. They only scored 2 behinds in the third quarter. They are leading 11-6, 72 to Perth, 5-5, 35 over at Lathlane. and it is a scrappy one over at New Choice Homes Park. East Fremantle have let Swan Districts back into the game. They only trail by 7 points. It's 5-2 to 3-7 at three-quarter time. So there are a couple of close ones in WAFL round 17. Keep in mind, of course, there is another game tomorrow at Leederville Oval. East Perth taking on Claremont. Some of the goals now, thanks to CD Dodd. Subiaco scored 4-0 in the first, 2 apiece in the second, and then 4-2 in favour of West Perth in the third. So the tide turned in West Perth's favour in that third quarter, but you know, you wouldn't expect Subiaco to put their foot off the gas like that. I mean, they're a very strong side. They have got contributors everywhere, in attack and in defence, but also their midfielders work very well. The clearance game, they've taken control in, especially after that red-hot start in the first 20 minutes.
Absolutely. They're an immense side, and they're coached well, coached brilliantly, and have beautiful defensive setup when they need to. And, you know, that first quarter was them at their absolute best. And now, as the tiredness sets in, they have let it slip a little bit, and West Perth have come in a little bit more, but they're going to be solid in this fourth term.
Having said that, there was another concern with West Perth in their four-quarter game, because last week they did not score a goal. Peel Thunder got 4 against them. So there's a bit of concern with West Perth how they can play a four-quarter game if they've taken their foot off the gas in one term. They took it off in the first and second quarter, but they put it back on turbo in the third quarter. Can they do it again in the final quarter? Well, that remains to be seen. Subiaco still have a good advantage of 19 points here at Leederville Oval as we get the final quarter underway. An important 30 minutes coming up for both sides in the context of where they'll be placed in the final 5. Delaporte got the tap out, but Walters clears it out of the centre square as the skies begin to darken here at Leederville Oval. Nelson gets first to it, hand pass back to Lynch. Now they go to Black. Over the top to Shane Nelson. That's a good hand pass. Lynch releasing his teammate there, and he's going to be caught. The tackle being applied by young Robbins in his second game of league football, and he will take the free kick. His third game of league football, rather. Robbins will take the free kick. Kicks towards right half forward. Going over the top was Moulton, and he takes the mark on the second grab. Moulton on right half back, looking for his options. He's being told to get a move on by the umpire. Down the line goes Moulton towards a 2-on-1. Running back with it there is Fulgrave. Dishes it out. Robbins. Robbins kicked towards the attacking side of centre. Touched according to the umpire. Matera out to Clark. Robbins running onto it hard, but he gets caught by Nelson. They're wanting holding the ball, but they're not going to get it. And that tiredness you talked about, Luke, and that could reflect on the tempo and how that fourth quarter is played out in terms of tempo and how Subiaco can move the football. But also, it may play against West Perth at the moment because they are not as strong as a final quarter team as are Subiaco. As the ball is over the line again, we'll have a throw-in by the Hill. And some fans just getting the umbrellas out. There may be some light drizzle coming our way. The rain has held off for much of the afternoon after the torrential rains we had during the week here in Perth. Matthews out the back, gets the tap, out to Kitchen, looping it over the top. This is good play by Subiaco. Up towards the forward line, they'll contest about 15 metres out. Leaping high and taking a good mark is Guadanin. Out to Moulton. Bolton kicks towards left half back. Hobley. Out of the left half back flank. Kicks towards the wing, charging hard is Fulgrave. He couldn't hang on to that one. Kitchen gets the crumbs, kicks towards Matera, roaming free. That's great play by Subiaco, recovering the ball and finding their target in the forward line right away.
Beautiful play there from Matera, and he's just been on all afternoon. And even when they were able to slow him down somewhat in the middle of this game, he's kept himself in it. And here he is, Paul, for his 5th.
From outside the 50. It's a big, long kick, and that is a beauty from Matera. Matera makes it number 5. And they get Subiaco off to the start thereafter. 3 minutes in on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. Subiaco get it back out to 25 points. Matera has number 5. And
well, that means he's been pretty much the difference in this game with 33 points of his own. He has pretty much been the buffer. Obviously, you know, Subiaco have dominated play in most areas, but he's making up the difference.
And he's got those 5 goals from 7 marks. So what a great performance he has put on inside that forward line. And he usually starts at left half forward, but he's been shifted deeper up forward.
And that was his first mark since half time as well.
And what a timely one to do it in the context of this game. Subiaco striking first.
West Perth, they might struggle now, but anything's possible. Big men go up for it. Finding it was Walters. Kick goes out far. Harris. Handballed over the top for Robbins. Back to Harris, who tries to push it forward, but now West Perth with the turnover. They're going to move it forward through Nelson, and just didn't find the target. Trickled over the boundary line.
Almost looked like a sliding tackle there by Rode on Salicic there, but luckily he didn't make any contact. Maybe it would have been a free kick or a yellow card.
And watching the Matildas play Great Britain last night, maybe.
Oh, were they magnificent, the Matildas.
Great game. Maybe we can see West Perth pull off a similar comeback. Ball fumbling around on the ground, holding it in was Boyce. The umpire's going to have it again. Ball got hit down. Trying to get it was Black. Subi have it now. Handballed out wide by Harris. Moved nicely by Fulgrave, and on the far wing, the ball's taken in by Subiaco.
Matthews kick, hesitant. 2-on-1. Pearce and Boys going hard at it. Pearce got the handball out, but Subiaco through Harris are able to recover and spoiled away by Martin. Could have taken the mark there, but it's going to be paid a deliberate against Martin, unsurprisingly, and Pecoraro will take the free kick. He plays on, sidesteps, gets the kick away in the direction of Knott, but it bounces over the line and it'll be a throw-in. In fact, no, it's deliberate.
Wow.
Dewar from half back, and they can get things going again for Subiaco. The kick by Stainsby, half volley by Stainsby, but well recovered, and a high tackle against Boys, and Stainsby will take it on centre half back. Stainsby kicks high to the outer side. Lynch in front, couldn't take the mark. Players going in hard. West Perth get it back into their attack. Stainsby, punch from behind, only as far as Knott. Gets the hand pass out. Releasing Lynch. Goes through 2 tackles, kicks from 35. It's not going to go towards the goal. In fact, it'll go across the face for a behind. The West Perth, they go to 6-4-40 and 9-10-64. And if you're an Eagles fan, I wouldn't want to alarm you, but West Coast in their AFL clash against Collingwood, 12-4 to 3-7 in the final quarter. Collingwood leading. Good golly.
I was going to say spoiler alert if you're a West Coast fan that wanted to watch that, but you know, at this point, having been watching this the whole time that it's been on, I'd say let's all not bother.
Fair call.
Play continues here at Leederville Oval. Hamilton kicks it forward. Riddick got a nice jump on it, moving it out nicely. West Perth trying to do something here, and here's Not Again. And Not Again is what he's saying. Another turnover to Subiaco.
These intercept marks are going to prove quite crucial for Subiaco, especially with how West Perth are getting those repeated entries inside 50.
Subiaco pumped it out of their kitchen at the fall of the ball. Ball went up. Harris trying to get it. Closing in on it. Nelson bouncing around. Moved out for Clark, and he got it out of the contest nicely for Subiaco, and that's what he does best. As it's pumped forward by Walters along the ground. Trying to bring it in is Matera. Almost got caught there. Moulton nearly had it. Ball went over for Black, and that was a bit of a hospital hand pass as he gets wrapped up. And now Brote's going to push it back inside 50. And Nick Martin, one more time, is going to line up for his third of the afternoon.
Subiaco are just making the Falcons pay for those costly turnovers inside defensive 50, and that was no exception. The Falcons got a little bit sluggish with their use of the football. Brote onto Martin, simple as that. They are ruthless when you turn over the ball back to the lines. They make you pay in maximum effect.
Martin, first player to move into double-digit marks on the afternoon. after that one. 2 goals, 1 he sits at, and from just on the 50, the kick looks good, but the distance wasn't there. Just fell short. 9-11-65. Subiaco, they lead West Perth 6-4-40 on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard.
Moulton's kick to the path of Shannon. Needs a sit. Goes down the line. On right centre wing. Riddick and Road. Riddick wins it. Tapped it forward. Murray. Releasing Boys. Kicks towards right half forward. Finds Knott. He's got Keitel roaming free. He's on a hard lead, and that's where he goes. Great mark by Keitel on the chest. And this gives West Perth a chance to peg it back now to 18 points.
Keitel, this would be for his second. 1 goal, 2. That's the 3rd mark that he's taken inside 50 as well.
And this is on a similar angle where his last goal was kicked. From right to left, does it straighten up? It does!
He shaped that beautifully, Keitel.
He did, and he's earned his 2nd goal. And West Perth get one back against the run. And it is now 19 points in favour of Subiaco as we go to the CD Dodd replay.
Might be able to get a good angle of it here.
Beautiful kick too. And as you said, Luke, he shaped it up very well, hooking it from right to left with the breeze.
And that windsock is blowing errantly at the other side of the field.
At least it's not being taped up by Kevin Sheedy, I'll say that. We used to play the old windsock game at Windy Hill. And left opposition teams scratching their heads as to which way the wind is blowing. I think Adelaide found that the hard way early in the early 90s, but that windsock's still blowing in a steady direction, still blowing across the ground. But West Perth, at the 10-minute mark of the final term, they trail by 19. They're not out of this. Black gets the clearing kick. Salisic kept his feet brilliantly. He's going to swing onto the right foot in the Keitel direction. With the one hand, he's got it! Keitel's paid the mark, and he can have a shot for number 3. What about that effort from Tyler Keitel? He's now saying, okay, boys, this is now my show.
Incredible from Keitel, and he's turned it on in this 4th term, and it's exactly what they need.
So Keitel to close the margin to 13 points. And it's hit the behind post, out of bounds on the full. That's a rarity for Keitel. And with that in mind, he's on 49 goals. Tyler Keitel, and he's going to stay there. 11 minutes into the final term. Subiaco leading by 19.
Moving it was Stainsby. Subiaco moving it up the far side now. With the footy, it's Dewar. Kicks it into the middle. Going up for it. 2-on-2 contest. Matera has it. Kick inboard. Beautifully weighted kick. Found Harrison Marsh. Pushes it out to the far wing. Subiaco move it inside 50 again. Here's Brote.
Just that quick movement out of defensive 50, going down the line risk-free.
Now the snap around from Matera was smothered, and Subiaco accidentally wasting that opportunity. Kick speared forward. Players spilling over the top of it. Nelson. They tried to kick it out of their West Perth. It's pushed straight back in by Robbins. They nearly got it out of trouble. The Subi fans wanted holding the ball and didn't get it, and the umpire's going to have it as Brote gets wrapped up in the tackle.
It's holding the ball.
It is. Okay, and it's going to be holding the ball against Brote. And to the dismay of the Subiaco fans in the crowd, thought they were going to get holding the ball call initially, but then it was called against Brote as it's chipped forward by Boyce and moved forward one more time. Again, a really nicely weighted kick. Finds Nelson. Nelson nearly into the hands of Riddick. He was played hard by Rode. Rode handballed it out of there. Bring it in, Lockyer. West Perth fans wanted ball. A lot going on in the crowd now. That there's something in this game. Subiaco's lead only 19 points.
The tackling from Riddick in that passage, incredible. Great effort from Riddick. He just kept on going, didn't stop the pressure when Subiaco was trying to move the ball out of that defensive side.
Putt brought it in off the ruck. Was kicked forward by Lockyer. Ball's in the corridor. Spun out, went to Pegararo. Pegararo might have thrown it. Two Subi players collide. Walters was one of them. And on the ground is Sokol. Second, huh?
Walters might have copped another one in the head as well, so he's a bit groggy out of that.
I was just about to say, he'd been involved in a few of those today. Walters. Rucks went up for it. Ball got wrapped up. Straight to ground again. Need to move it out of the mud patch in the middle of the ground that you're getting a good view of on the screen.
Max Walters getting a well-deserved round of applause from a section of the crowd. He's one tough nut to crack. West Perth get it clear again. The hand pass comes out to Black. Caught quickly there by Clark. That's a good tackle, but it goes out to Murray. Gets the quick kick away. Riddick couldn't hang on to that one. It's inside West Perth's attacking 50, but it's going to be out again through Harris. Kitchen gets speared, but hand pass comes over the top. Clark with the up and under kick towards the bullseyes. Hamilton from behind with the spoil. Stainsby in front. Players going to ground. Boys was one of them. Another one was Kitchen. What's the umpire going to say? He says, I'll have it. 14 minutes into the final term on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. The margin 19 points. Still anybody's game, but the time will be the essence for both sides. Black from behind the football makes a good tackle, but again, another stoppage. The margin was 19 points at three-quarter time. It was 30 at half-time and 32 at quarter time. Donald got the tap out. Hard tackle on Putt. And again, the umpire says, I'll have it. These stoppages really irritating West Perth, but good for Subiaco. But Subiaco would want that last goal if they had to seal this game. O'Donnell laying another good tackle on a Lion. A pack of them converging on the football. There'll be another one. There's only a one-on-one inside the forward line. Lockyer and Keitel, the only ones inside forward 50. And they'll be keeping their eye on that football should it enter their territory. But on the other side of the ground, on the left-hand side, they've got Matera and Guadanin matched up. Ball's tossed up again. The tap comes in from Putt. And again, another stoppage. Both West Perth fans and Subiaco fans making some noise. The calm West guy is back again. Some things never change in waffle football. Ball's on the centre square. And again, another stoppage. Around the grounds, just quickly, for some of the other games. South Fremantle, 98 points over Pure Thunder. And the West Coast Eagles in the reserve side, 42 points over Perth. Over at Mineral Resources Park. Subiaco clear it out. Road. High kick to the outer side. Munns with the spoil from behind. Good second effort there, getting the hand pass out. West Perth looked to have been away, but the Lions intercept. The kick towards right half forward. Hamilton's wanting deliberate. Are they going to get it? No. It's a boundary throw-in. Wasn't going to be deliberate. There was intention, and there was two players around the football. Broke was one of them. And it'll be a throw-in about 60 from the Subiaco goal. One more, and that could be the game winner. So the ball is going to be thrown up. Putt was the only one that nominated in the ruck. Delaporte got caught behind. Good tackle applied by Shannon. Hobley gets the hand pass out, but taken over the line for another throw-in. And also East Fremantle, they are leading Swan Districts. They've kicked one goal and have held Swan Districts scoreless over at New Choice Homes Park. And this would not be a setback the Swan Districts would want in their quest to play finals in 2021. Putt again in the ruck. Hand pass comes out from Clark. Punched away. It's now inside forward 50. Kick partially smothered. Brote breaks through one. Swings onto the left foot. Back into the corridor. And that's where Pegararo was to take the intercept mark at fullback. 19 points to score the margin. 18 minutes into the final term on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard.
Ball pumped forward. Mark taken in nicely. Boys kicked it forward through the corridor. Spilled over the back of the pack. Murray's running onto it. It's chipped forward. Nearly taken in by Stainsby. Fans wanted ball again. Salicic is in the mix.
Some of the coaching staff of West Perth wanted holding the ball. plenty of screams in the last few minutes.
So the umpire has it. Going up for it, Putt and Delaporte. That's been a good battle all day. Mark's taken in beautifully.
Not paid, play on.
And not paid because it wasn't 15. My apologies for that. So the ball will be taken in by the umpire.
He took it well, did Michael Bright. Good leap and maintained his balance under pressure.
Delaporte took it straight out of the ruck, and that was a throw, so it will be a free kick in favour of Subiaco. They move it forward immediately. Matera nearly had it. Spilt over. Matera running onto it now. Tapped it back. Bringing it in, or attempting to, was Hamilton. And Mark Hamilton going to get moved over the boundary line. Not quite. Umpire's going to have it. Right there, 9-11-65, Subiaco, they lead West Perth 7-4-46 on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. Thanks to Ross's Discount Home Centre for the support of front row screens. Play continues, ball bouncing around, Black nearly took it in. Ball went over the top, Nelson cleared it, but the mark was taken in by Subiaco. Another intercept mark for the Lions on a fine afternoon of footy for this outfit. Ball goes inside 50 again. Rebounded straight back out. Big fly, and the ball's taken in by Heel. And Heel finding Marsh with a beautiful kick.
Couple of Falcons went down. Delaporte was one of them. And also Hamilton in that collision. So they're just a bit worse for wear out of that. But again, after those turnovers, Subiaco know how to move the ball off defensive turnovers, and they do it well. And that was no exception. The way they were able to move the ball back towards their attacking 50 and force West Perth to push back, simply impressive.
Harrison Marsh, 26 disposals, 5 marks, and 5 tackles on the afternoon. Add 5 inside 50s to that as well. But this for his first goal, just from beyond the arc of 50. Distance looks good, and so does the line. Subiaco moved to 10-11-71. They lead West Perth 7-4-46 on the Ross's Home Discount Centre scoreboard.
Well, we could say signed, sealed and delivered for the Lions. That'll be top spot in their keeping. It was a beautiful kick too by Harrison Marsh when it mattered, when the game was in the balance. Magnificent follow through.
Immediately, there we go. That was a bomb of a kick, one of our nearly 60 metres.
He had to give it absolutely everything, so he was backing himself in from the moment he took it because he wanted to put the game to bed, and that's exactly what he's done. And now it's out to 25 points, and that's unassailable for Subiaco. That'll be win number 11.
And a strong outfit, this Subiaco side. A lot of work to do moving forward. Obviously, they know now they will be playing those extra games, so the job isn't quite done yet.
But in terms of today, they'll earn the 4 points. Free kick is going to go the way of West Perth for a throw. And it's Shane Nelson. Plays it on immediately. Kick off the side of the boot. Matera running back, couldn't take the mark. Lynch gets caught. The hand pass comes out. Keitel running second to the football in that one. And now the Lions get more within. Murray over the top. But again, the Lions getting first to it and putting the pressure on immediately. And the margin now 25 points in favour of Subiaco. Kitchen releases Hickmott. Hickmott goes towards Sokol at half forward. No mark. That was Marsh, rather. West Perth with the intercept. They rove it off the pack. And from half back, Nelson goes with a high pass, finding Lynch. On left half back. Sizing up the options, Lynch. That is a beautiful kick to the path of O'Donnell, supported by Pearce. O'Donnell gets the hand pass out to Black. He's got Knott as the target up forward. Knott flies high and takes a good mark. Good entry set up there by the movement of the ball from Nelson. Outside defensive 50. And Knott could be rewarded with his second goal. And that is as straight as a die. Keegan Knott gets a consolation for the Falcons. They now lead by 19. They now trail by 19 points. 23 minutes into the final term on the Ross's Discount Home Centre scoreboard. And again, they wanted to get on with it. And even though it might sound too little too late, Keegan not wasting no time in getting that second goal. So the pressure is well and truly on them. try and get back into it, although the clock is certainly ticking away. And ticking away any chance of a West Perth comeback. But Keegan Knott likes to play in these conditions. He's been their most effective forward along with Keitel and Riddick. They've each got 2 goals. But it's just that supply that they haven't got from the West Perth midfield for much of this game. Even though the margin is less than 20 points, it hasn't been West Perth's midfielders' best effort this afternoon. As the ball comes back in the centre, Walters, a big punch towards half forward. They're running onto it now. They go back inboard to find Harris. Harris at left half forward. Chip short, finding Matera. Great game he's played at half forward. Matera goes inboard and finds his man. And the man there is Marsh, and takes the mark. And he'll look to further cement the game for Subiaco.
Harrison Marsh had that bomb of a goal before, and we can see on the CD Dot replay, beautiful awareness from Bailey Matera, and a great grab.
He waited the kick well to allow Marsh to take that high-flying mark, because that's where he's good at, along with a good kick for goal. He can take those high-flying marks, and he's got that capacity too to run off his man in the one-on-one. So Harrison Marsh, this for number 2. From 35 metres out, and that is to the left-hand side for a behind.
That was close.
Plenty of fans going for the football, trying to souvenir it for themselves. It's now 20 points, and West Perth move it on quickly. It's a bomb of a kick towards the centre square. Brote leaps high, couldn't take the mark. Players converging on the football. West Perth holding the ball, but they aren't going to get it. 10-12, playing 8-4. Subiaco with that win, and with Claremont playing tomorrow here at Leederville Oval, they will maintain top spot on the ladder, but they'll also gain a good chunk of percentage, and they will further cement their status as premiership favourites in 2021. But if you look at the wins of South Fremantle that they had, they'll get a massive percentage boost and jump into second on the ladder at the expense of West Perth and Claremont. Of course, Claremont take on East Perth tomorrow. But also, the wins by East Fremantle today against Swan Districts potentially could see them stay alive, but just given that there is an extended season now, as the ball is back on Subiaco's half-forward line. It'll be a boundary throw in. Max Walters, he's had a few hard knocks today, but he's a very hard player when he's on his best, and he's been a key contributor all throughout the afternoon. Another throw-in. Winning that one was Matthews, but the Falcons clear it out of the congestion. Quick kick out towards Keitel. Keitel needs to get the sit, and he does. Swings onto the right foot. He's got Riddick up at full forward, but there's the siren. Subiaco, they took complete control in the opening quarter. Although they were challenged in the second half, Subiaco were simply effortless and ruthless in their mission to retain top spot on the ladder, and they've won it by 20 points over West Perth, 10-12, 72 to 8-4, 52 here at Leederville Oval. And Luke, it was Subiaco's day, and rightfully so, they are on top of the ladder.
Beautiful game from the Lions. That first term is about as good of a quarter of footy outside of the scoreboard pressure that you'll see in WAFL footy from a team in terms of just pure dominance of play. And they were able to launch themselves forward from that first term. And, you know, when some things weren't going their way during the later stages of the game, that buffer that they created in the first term in such a low score, in what was a low-scoring game initially, really helped them out, and that was what saw them over the line, Paul.
But also in the final 3 quarters, we must point this out. After the first quarter, Subiaco only scored 6 goals. West Perth scored that 8 after being held scoreless at quarter time.
Just goes to show.
The depth up forward and in the midfield is nothing short of brilliant. And Subiaco back to where they were in 2019 at their dominant best, and under another solid coach in Beau Wardman, who picked up a premiership in 2019. He's looking like a strong contender to pick up a second with the Lions in 2021. But the way Subiaco were able to get in front and stay in front in the midst of the barrage that West Perth had in terms of goals in the third quarter is just a testament to what Subiaco have done under Beau Wardman and how they play their football. It's a good brand to see.
It's brilliant, and you know, as for West Perth, they just couldn't make the most of those dangerous forwards early in the game, and credit to them, they did play a very good last half of that game. The third quarter was terrific. They kept it just about even in the fourth, and so a lot of work to be done for them. If they will be a solid top 4 side, but if they want to be competing with the big boys like Subiaco, they have some work to do, and I think that showed today.
It dented their double chance hopes, the loss for West Perth today, because with the percentage boost that South Fremantle are going to have today with their thrashing of Peel Thunder, but also Claremont potentially winning tomorrow, being touted to win tomorrow, West Perth will have to drop back to 4th and face the prospect of an elimination final against Swan Districts. But the top 5 is still very close, only a win and a bit between them, so it's not entirely out of it yet. But we'll just quickly go around the grounds for some of the other games. East Fremantle only leading by a point over Swan Districts. South Fremantle leading by 115 over Peel Thunder. And Perth going to suffer another defeat, unfortunately, this time at the hands of West Coast, 14-7 to 6-7. But here, it was Subiaco by 20 points. Look, as we showed the CD Dodd highlights, the way Subiaco played their football in the first quarter and got on with it in the final 3 quarters was... the damage was done basically after quarter time, and West Perth tried everything they can to stop the bleeding, but it just continued with the barrage of goals Subiaco had in the 3 quarters since. They kicked 6, West Perth got 8 after those, but it was more than enough for Subiaco with the way they moved the football and exerted that physical pressure.
Yeah, and, like we touched on before, it just would have been a different story without that first term, and that was, the chink in West Perth's armour. They could not put it together in any form in the first term, and then following that they started to, and even if that first term was 3 quarters of as good as what it was from Subiaco, we would have watched a very different game today. It
would have been, but also the conditions were very trying for both sides. And you pointed out off the air before you got to the ground that West Perth's forward line wasn't able to hold up against a strong Subiaco backline in the conditions. And as it turned out, you were right. Even though with Riddick, Keitel and Knott each kicking 2 goals, they weren't able to adapt to it because Subiaco play the wet weather conditions, or the mixed conditions in this case, a little bit better because of the small forwards that they have got and the way they're able to be versatile inside forward 50 with the likes of Matera, who was magnificent today. 5 goals, easily the best player on the ground, along with Harrison Marsh, who was magnificent, and also the likes of Broughton Harris adding in their contributions on the attacking half. And Harris, he played a little bit in defence as well and was vital in getting Subiaco out of that congestion.
And regarding what I did say before the game about West Perth, I haven't seen this forward line play in the wet conditions this year, and it was more just a general contemplation about the way that sporting teams are set up in general. When you have an attacking team like this, it doesn't travel every single weekend, and it doesn't really travel into conditions like these. What does is setting up your defensive grid perfectly, being there for every intercept mark, working as hard as you possibly can at the contest, and that's what Subiaco does. That's what wins premierships. What West Perth are doing, that wins you 6-7 games in a row, and then sometimes, just because of how inconsistent attacking is in sport in general, it can come to a skidding halt.
And it certainly did today for the Falcons. Their winning streak snapped at 6, and Subiaco well and clear on top of the ladder. Luke, fantastic as always. Great job from you, mate. Great to call with you once again. Tomorrow there is another game, round 17. It is East Perth and Claremont. Who's your tip for that one?
I am going to go with Claremont for that one, but I do like East Perth, but I think that Claremont will get on top of them.
Yeah, I'm going to go Claremont as well. But also, keep in mind, it is an extended season, so different fixtures for next week. That makes the next few rounds of the 2021 season very interesting indeed, because now it's a 22-round season rather than the usual 20. And we look forward to your company for more of that action next week here on Front Row Screens, your number 1 in 2021. As soon as I get them up, we'll give you the fixtures for round 18. Next week, we got Claremont and Subiaco at Revo Fitness Stadium. East Perth taking on Perth at Leederville Oval. The Fremantle Derby at Fremantle Oval. And then Steel Blue Oval plays host to Swan Districts and Peel Thunder. On behalf of Matt, Luke Worthington and all of the Front Row Screens team, this is Paul Persick wishing you a very good evening from Leederville Oval, where it was Subiaco maintaining their stranglehold atop the ladder by 20 points over West Perth. So long, everybody.